Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Brad Nelson.
And we've got Rob in the booth back after a couple-week vacation. How are you doing, Rob?
Doing good. I got told yesterday, because I had to do Commander Versus, that on this show I am Director Rob with a lowercase d. However, on their show, I've been promoted to Dr. Rob, so I think I might be moving shows soon.
Dr. Rob? But do you have the credentials, or are they just,
according to Stephen Green, I have the credentials, so that's enough for me.
But does that come with a raise? Because you don't just want to accept the fancy title if it doesn't come with something on the back end.
I know two things. I've been in this business before. I only know two things. I can never figure these things out. That's one. And two is people will say whatever they need up front.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
See, one of the benefits of the mask is you can actually use the strings of the mask to keep the mic in place.
Can I get a mask? I mean, I wear it everywhere else.
Okay, if you got one, yeah.
Well, Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. We are coming up on the, I'm trying to remember what number World Championship this is. The first one is in 90.
Don't quiz the first. I didn't think I was going to take a test.
Yeah. So the first one was in 94, right? Zach Dolan won. And so this is 27 years later, so it's the 28th World Championship.
Again, I have no idea. I go by champions. I can list off a lot of them.
There were a lot of years in between where it was there. They called it something different, but we all knew it was basically
also, there technically wasn't one last year, so it might be the 27th.
I guess. Okay. Yeah. It's the 2021 World Championship.
It would have been a good trivia question.
Yeah. And I would have failed that one.
Yeah.
Regardless, Worlds is coming up this weekend, and deck lists are already have been released-ish to the public.
They're out.
Yeah, we can see them.
Yes, they exist.
So we're going to give you a little preview of the action you're going to see on the tables this coming weekend. Our thoughts on some of the decks, and really the narrative I think for this tournament is how do the Epiphany players respond to the dominance of monocolored aggro last weekend on the SCG Tour Online. Mono green was 7 of the top 11, and then there was 3 mono whites. There's only one Epiphany deck in the X1 bracket after the Swiss. I think a second one made the elimination rounds, but they snuck in at 12th. The SCG Tour does a 12-person cut, so Epiphany was the talk of the town last week. I think it's still sort of the talk, but it's about how are we shifting our list so that we can handle these aggressive decks. So there's sort of two different schools of thought on the Epiphany players who are playing in Worlds this week. There are people who are going, is it, but they're playing the Tormenting Voice-ish card.
Unexpected Windfall.
Unexpected Windfall, yep. And then there are people that are splashing black and playing Celestis as a mana fixer and mana accelerant, and some different black removal and different options with that third color. So two different kind of builds. Brad's going to be on that side of things, playing those builds, and we're going to test it out against our favorite mono green and mono white lists from the event. The mono green list is going to be first in each of those matchups, so I'll be on the aggro side, and this is coming from Paolo.
Paulo and Sam Party.
Yeah. I have the same list. There's one other person playing mono green. Seth. Yep. Oh, that's a pretty good trio.
Yeah, it's not bad competitors keeping up mono green. No, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, a little surprising, I would say, to only see 3 mono green players after how well it did last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, so we've seen this before. Now, I kind of want to jump on a soapbox for just a short minute. I know that we're playing 4 matches today, but I'll make my decisions quicker than I usually do on Versus.
I won't.
Yeah. But, one of the things is, there has been a lot of arguments about should all runs, you wrote an article about it. I've been very vocal about how I think all runs, sharing a lot of the similar opinions of it, that the problem with the format is the thing that beats anything that's trying to go over the top of linear strategies.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you can't get that rock, paper, scissors. You only get whatever's the best combo control versus whatever's the best linear decks. And so we'll see, because mono green did very well because decks didn't adapt. But often we've seen that before, big events where the pros are testing while everyone else is playing tournaments, and they roll up and they're like, this is how you do it. And everyone's like, oh, okay, we'll do it that way now. And they're like, good. And we have lists like that, right? I've been dabbling with some of these cards, but I didn't put a list out there. The Czechs, along with Arnie, brought 4 Unexpected Windfall. They're not messing around. They're like, aggro decks are real. We're going to play the draw spells that actually interact with them, as opposed to the ones that just sit in your hand and you die. And then we have the Grixis deck that entire game plan, honestly, was originally designed to beat mono green, right? Lear plus Fading Hope is this combo that kind of shuts green out because it gives you this bridge to get to your late game.
Yeah.
That's very difficult to interact with. And so in combination, like they care about the aggressive decks, even more so than the mirrors. But the thing that I'm mostly interested in is I think green's going to have a tough tournament because all the focus was on that. But these white decks, this aggressive white deck that we're going to be playing today, that's my pick to have the highest win percentage in the field. And so that and this Grixis deck are the most exciting things to me.
And there's not many white players. Yeah, I think there's 2. I think it's 8 Epiphany, 2 white, 3 green, and there's 3 rogue people. There's 1 teamer deck. There's 1 blue-white deck.
And 1 is a dragons.
And 1 is a dragons, yep.
The blue-white deck is wild.
Yeah, that is... well, I'll be interested to see how that one does.
That guy's been playing Magic for 2 years and already at the World Championship.
And has the stones to bring a completely rogue strategy.
Same thing with Is a Control got him here. Like in the Gauntlet, he brought another rogue strategy that we're all like, huh? And just took it all the way. So I mean, it looks odd, but you know, people come into games and see it a different way all the time. And you know, never drafted before though. Like never. So this is gonna be an interesting start to tomorrow. The World Championship is tomorrow morning. You can find that all at twitch.tv/magic, all the action. I'm actually sitting in on Corey, who is part of coverage working today. Had to take a step down to work on the World Championships. Gave the spot to me again. I mean, maybe also been losing to you a lot, and you know our track record here. So at least the last time.
Well, you should hope that continues because you are playing for the marbles. Because I took them back from Todd on Tuesday.
Look, the first time y'all had this marble thing, Corey cheated me, just straight cheated me. I was up 2-1, and Imagine like, let's keep playing. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, well, I win the marbles now. Because we played them all to 0 and I'm aggressive in your control and now I win them. And I'm like, how does that work? He's like, well, that's how it works. And then I get back here at 3-0 and Ross is like, you don't get the marbles. I didn't even have them. They're right here, but I didn't even have them. So you know what? I'm done with this marble game. I'm just done.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, we're playing for the marbles. Whether
So if
you
I
want
win,
to
do
or
I
not.
get to take them home with me?
Yeah. You also get to play first in this first match.
I mean, this just makes it better than the World Championship, right?
I mean, I'm starting to buy in on this.
You have to win though. We're playing 4 matches.
Can
if
you
you
at
split
least
them,
call me doctor?
you definitely don't have the credentials.
No, I do not. All righty.
Okay, so first up is the Is It list with 4 windfalls.
Yes, this is the Stan, Andre, and Arnie version. I'm really excited about it. Old testing teammates.
I will be playing a little mono green.
All right. Well, I am going to have to mulligan.
I will keep my pretty much perfect hand.
But you're on the draw.
Yeah, that's the not perfect part. Don't remind me about that.
No, I'm really excited about this tournament. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not lying. I'm not gonna care about the limited format, and there's only 2 matches of Standard tomorrow. But I think I'm gonna like co-stream Saturday, watch all 5 matches of it, and then the top 4. Whew. I might invite someone over to my house to do a co-stream. I don't know.
We're gonna get a lot of eye emojis in the chat now.
I got 2 mics set up. I've got a mixer. I've got the whole setup. The only problem is I've got a little shitty office room. I can't swear, can I?
You're not supposed to, but
It'll be a bleep in post. We'll figure it out.
It's been a week and I haven't been here in a while. All right, cool. A bleep in post. We'll take that.
You know, I made a spelling mistake in a tweet. You know,
Star City of Games?
yeah.
Star City of Games.
You cursed. We'll figure out what Ross is going to do later.
All right. Which do you think this is a good card to put back?
probably.
All right.
Hall of Storm Giants. Ooh, that's an interesting draw. Still think I'm going to lead on Kazandu Valley and pass the turn.
All right. I'll draw for the turn. We'll reveal a mountain, and I'm going to suspend, or I'm going to foretell a card.
I wonder what it could be.
I don't know.
Oh, punished. I have a Werewolf Pack Leader. I'll pass the turn.
That is a good one.
I was very glad your turn 2 was not Smoldering Egg.
They're in the sideboard.
Okay. Oh, they're not in the main?
It's creatureless.
Ah.
Oh, this is starting off rough.
Did we not hit the land?
Huh? Oh no, we hit the land.
Okay.
That's the problem. We hit the lands. And yeah, we'll leave that as a river glide and say go.
Okay. Oh, I'll attack for 3.
I'm at 17.
I have an old growth troll.
Hoo-wee.
Pass the turn.
Ooh-wee. This is.
I told you my hand was perfect.
That's what you know about. We'll do this to scare you off of a creature land. All right, you scared? All right, your turn.
Play forest, declare tax.
Bring it.
Attack with both, draw a card.
And unless you want to pay 2 to deal 2.
No. You can take 7, go to 10. And I will pass the turn.
But don't you want to continue developing your board?
Not really.
I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like I'm gonna die.
Well, you failed to interact with me.
4, 5, 6. So if you end up just pumping this right now, I'm dead. And I don't want to be dead.
But I want you to be dead.
And I just drew the card that I wanted to draw last turn. I don't want to be dead. But you're at least going to be able to have 4 in play. Or worse, you can pump this and then have 6. Even if I do this. So, but I think that's my only option. And then I'm just going to have like no life for the follow-up turn. But I think I have a good chance of dying if I try to hold this up. And I think this isn't even that good of a line.
It's okay to have no life, Brad. We've all been pretty messed up by the pandemic.
Don't bring it up. Just don't bring it up. All right, we'll burn down the house. I don't
Okay.
think the house is burning.
No, I'm going to save the old growth troll, make
Yeah.
it a 6/6. I want to keep my land. Leader down. You're at 10.
Am I dead? I
Nope.
don't think I'm dead.
I do have an Azeka's Chariot, though.
Yeah,
I'll get some cats.
I can beat that.
I'll attack for 6.
And I'm at 4.
And I'll pass the turn.
All right. That is not the card that I wanted. Surprise! 2 birds. With are you going to get 2 birds with 1 troll? All right. How many protection spells does that deck have? I think it's just 1. If I remember, it's 1.
Yeah, there's 3 in the sideboard, so there's 1 in the main, because
Yeah.
there's definitely 4 in the 75.
So you can crew and I'm at 4, so and fight cards exist. So all of that isn't particularly great. And if you have one of those, I'm in also trouble, so I almost feel like I have to do these right now. But it's not even that great.
I like not great.
Then at least live to fight another day, unless you have 2 fight cards. It's all not good. It's all not good. I'm going to just say go and hope that what I thought might be happening won't happen.
Okay, I've got a land. I have a Blizzard Brawl, and I am just going to use a cat to fight a bird.
Cat to fight a bird.
Yeah. Very natural.
Very natural.
You have cats, you know.
So should we do this, which will leave us 1 mana plus 4 treasures, and it'll leave us this, and we might find we might find some interaction for it, or do we just do this right now? want to do this. But if the cards that I need aren't in the top 4, and I don't have a lot of them,
Yeah.
then, but if that happens, and they have another fight spell, we're just going to lose anyway if we don't do this. Okay. No, I can't actually do it. I can't allow it. Can't allow it. We're just going to iteration, unexpected windfall, discard disruption. So I'm going to draw 2, get 2
We're going
overturfs.
to draw 4. Right?
Draw
Yeah.
2, get 2 more overturfs.
It's a lot of overturfs.
So many overturfs. Oh, yeah, these are still here.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Our hand did not improve. We do have this now. But I still don't know how that's going to help us. And we need to do this. Okay. It happens.
I will once again Blizzard Brawl with the now indestructible cat.
Okay. Well, now we have to get even more desperate. Just windfall.
Okay.
And we're dead.
Yeah, you were almost dead the last turn because I still had the veil.
Oh, you had the veil too? And
Yeah,
all the
so I was just one short. No, I needed the 4th Hornet Sting.
Oh, it's so savage. It's so savage. That was brutal.
Yeah. My opening hand was just 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, removal spell, 3 lands.
Yeah. It was devastating. Absolutely devastating.
You just needed that like turn 2 or 3 piece of interaction to buy yourself some more
I
time.
found everything I needed a turn late. Like even turn 4, I drew this for turn 5. And so if I did that earlier, I would have had like the mana to do what I needed.
Yeah, just more resources.
Everything was always a turn behind, which happens against an aggressive deck. That's part of it, right?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here, get some sideboarding set up, and then finish out our first match previewing Worlds here on Versus Live. Don't go anywhere.
All right, so for sideboarding, this version of the deck does have Smoldering Egg, and their plan very well be to potentially bring it in. But one of the things that I've found against green in particular is if I take time to play this, and then I have to find time to line my removal spells up and play things, it will flip, usually, but all of your creatures are giant. So I need to play 2 spells to just hit a something, and you have 4 Snakeskin Veils. It's just a game plan that I want against, like the card's very good as a additional threat against other blue decks, other Epiphany decks. It's good at actually blocking against mono white.
Yep.
But against green, it's not blocking. It's not picking off creatures right when it flips. And so I've always struggled with this card in this matchup. Now, I also don't know if I'm supposed to take Demon Bolt out, but it's another inefficient removal in this matchup where it can be a very efficient catch-all game 1 when you might be playing against other people with Leers or Dragons and what have you.
And, yeah.
And so I'm going to be upgrading that with Burning Hands. I'm going to be playing the Gold Spans because you have so many Snakeskin Veils that I want to have an alternative plan that is just do my thing instead of just spend a ton of time interacting with you.
You want to stress the combo aspect of your deck a little bit more because I'm preparing for the control aspect.
Yes, exactly.
And on my side, that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing out almost all my removal. The one removal spell I have in it, this 1 copy of Choose Your Weapon in the sideboard. The removal part of it is going to deal with any of the dragons. If you bring an egg, once it transforms, I can hit the reverse side. I can hit Goldspan Dragon. But that first ability is more relevant than the 2+1/+1 counters from Inscription.
I don't even know what it does.
And it's because your 4 toughness creature is now saved from Burning Hands. Because if the 4 toughness creatures are great, you can double to 8 to put 2 counters on it, still dying to Burning Hands. So you actually get protection against the main removal spell that you're worried about with Choose Your Weapon that you don't get with Inscription. Getting a little bit more haste in the deck, which is important, especially post Burn Down the House. Obviously, Snakeskin Veil, just one of the best cards, and then an additional copy of Ren. So the curve is going up a little bit, but I'm on the draw, so I should hit my land drops pretty easily.
I'm pretty surprised you're taking the Florahedron out.
That was just kind of like the weakest creature, but maybe I'm supposed to cut something else. I could cut a Kazandu Mammoth.
Yeah, I personally would consider just like making sure you have a 2-drop, especially on the draw, is important, even if it's just mana acceleration.
Yeah, let's try that. I could definitely see that, especially with the extra 5 drops on the deck.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, is there any? What's the questions, concerns, or burns? Is that it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Got it.
We did have a burn earlier from Lord Vel. They wanted to know.
I mean, I know we did. We had to burn down the house.
Yeah.
I cast it.
You know, the question at the beginning of the match was, are we going to be able to get through 4 based on how Ross shuffles? But, you know, we'll see.
We've tried this before. It's rare that we do.
That we get all the games in?
Yeah.
Well, if I lose all the matches 2-0, we should be fine. Gross deck. What are you doing? All right, I'm going to let
Trying
chat
to keep you on that O2 plan, I think.
All right, chat. Keep or mulligan. Add up the first 5 responses. I know. Are you going to keep?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're picking, so.
Definitely keep in my hand.
It is 4-1 in favor of keep.
Idiots. All right, go.
I've got Forest.
All right, I will play this, and I will say go.
I have a Haven and a Florahedron.
Weak. 6 damage. That's gonna. I'll do that in a second. Foretell.
Play a Forest and a Kazandu Mammoth.
Yup. Chat. What are you doing to me, chat?
Chat wants you to trust in the heart of the cards, I think.
The heart of the cards.
Scry to the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, Forest, Kazandu Mammoth.
All right. Go.
Faceless Haven, attack for 5.
15.
Kazandu Mammoth.
Can it divide by 0?
Also, if you were Corey, this hand would just be great. So, you know.
He would just figure it all out.
Sculptor of Winter.
You know, good old Corey keep. Need those.
I'm gonna risk it.
Got to risk it to get the biscuit.
All right, there we go.
That's
there
our
we
rule
go.
here on Versus Live.
There we go. We're doing something. It's not enough, but things are being done. That's gonna be the last one. What should be the first one? I guess it's gonna be
What did you get with the Learn on Divide,
this.
Brad?
Huh?
What did you get with the Learn on Divide?
Sciences that I'm gonna cast.
Ah.
Yeah, we're gonna put this in hand, I guess. Do this and then cast Sciences.
Put you to 17.
Yep. And I'll go get an Island and your turn.
Well, I don't think there is much reason for me to extend more to the battlefield.
Does their list not have islands, or did maybe their list has no islands? I did not notice that. Or did you just do mono mountains?
Five.
Oh, never mind. I see the 5 islands. They're there. Don't worry about it. They're in there. No mistakes are being made today.
Nope. Definitely haven't been gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We don't make mistakes on Versus Live.
Yeah, no. Business as usual. We're good. I don't know if the deck's even the right number.
I'm going to play Kazandu Valley, animate a Haven, and just smash for 11.
All right, so I'm at 4.
You're at 6. You gain 2 off the Sciences.
All right, so I'm at 8.
No, you're at 6.
8. All right. Burn down the house. The right way. No. I died. Oh, wait, I'm at 6. Nah. Like that. Your turn. Not falling for none of your tricks.
Trixie Hobbitses. Okay, I'll play Froghemoth.
Oh, that's a trick.
I will smash with all of my creatures.
That is definitely a trick. Oof. I know what we need. I'm at 6 lives. Okay, so if I just do this, you're going to eat some spells. That'll gain you life, right?
Yes. Very important that I gain that life.
I'll block like that. Am I going to 3?
Yeah. So you go to 3. I'll exile Burning Hands, Burn Down the House, and Fading Hope. Not that I think it matters. Brings me to 23.
I have 3 devil triggers. They're all going to target Froghemoth.
Okay, I will Snakeskin Veil the Froghemoth.
All right.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Dealer! What is my at?
You're at 3.
Ross, what's over there? What's over there? Ross, what is it? What's over there? All right, Epiphany. Here we go. Get my birds. There we go. We got birds in play. All right, my turn.
I kind of want to see how this plays out.
All right, my turn.
Attack for 2 and make some more birds.
Attack for 2. Oh, look, we got more birds.
I'm at 21, kind of, in a sense.
All right, untap. Oh, come on, deck. Just give me more lands.
So, yeah, we're drawing 4 cards and making 4 treasures.
Yeah.
The old quad over turfs.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Well, that didn't really work.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. All right. All right. So that is the first match. We're getting through it fast. Because now we're going to switch over to white, and we're going to make sure that I did see in fact the 5 islands in my deck before match 2.
That might help.
I mean, but they're there. I said it, and you all believe me, right?
Yeah. I don't know what kind of hands you mulligan in those 2 games, but I'm guessing they were land light.
Things were a little land light, yeah.
So, who's to say if that had a real impact?
I don't think so. I think you're up a match.
Yeah.
Oh, and tie goes to you too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's garbage. See the marbles, man. It's the hope that kills you.
They're tough to get.
They dangle them and they're like, you can get them, but if we tie in our best of 4 match that
I suggested we play yesterday.
You suggested, yeah.
Weird how that works out.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? It's so funny.
Okay. So we're going to move on to a little mono white.
Yeah, we'll just take a quick break, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
While we
take a short
Just
one?
take a 2-minute break real quick.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. We'll get that set up for y'all, and we will see how the actual Izzet deck, as opposed to mono red Epiphany, can do against mono white. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Brad Nelson.
And we've got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so you can see them and send his favorites over to us. We are continuing to preview the World Championships coming this weekend, in particular the standard portion.
Yes.
No limited previews here. And we're going to be playing a lot of Epiphany decks against the aggro decks to see how the players in this elite field have adjusted their Epiphany builds to combat aggro, which is the big question for them after last weekend. So far, the Epiphany deck struggled a little bit for unknown reasons.
Unknown reasons.
Yeah. Who's to say exactly why you dropped the first match? But now we're going to be testing the Izzet build that the Czech players and Arne Huschenbach brought to against Mono White, which is your pick to do really well in the event.
Yes, I'm very impressed with the look, and I wrote about that. My article's out right now on Star City, so go take a look if you're interested in that. But the reason I like this list so much more than all the other white aggressive decks, because in theory the deck should be fine in this metagame. A linear green deck and a blue control deck, a white deck should be able to shine in that. Just have some removal of linear strategy. But the deck doesn't scale that well. But what they found in this deck is these the familiars. I forgot the name of it, but the dog that costs 1. That just allows you to have that scale alongside the new 2-drop or the one that hasn't had any of the sunrise that has
Sun Gold Sentinel.
Sun Gold Sentinel. And just along with the rest of the deck, it is just properly scaling to where you have stuff to do with your mana. At late games, your creatures are getting bigger as the game goes on. You can really slow down your plan and not really worry about your 1-drops not underperforming as the game goes along. And that's really what I like about this list.
Yeah, that's been important for white decks in the past, is being able to scale in the late game and continue to use your mana. So good that they have found a way to do that. And you will be on the play again here.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is a keep. It's sequenced awkwardly, and I'm not really sure what I can really do about it. Like, I feel like this has to be my first land because we're going to try to get to this and this on time, so we might use this on turn 2, even though this is one of our best cards in the matchup to have in situations like this, but our hand just, I do not believe is going to allow us to use it. So we're going to have a Spike-Filled Cave come into play tapped.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because I have a 1-mana 1/1.
Shocking.
Stonebinder's Familiar.
All right. Well, that was a great draw for us. We'll play a Hall of Storm Giants and pass the turn.
I would like to attack for 1.
I'll take it. Well, attack for 1, not 5, not 7.
And I'll play a Sun Gold Sentinel.
All right, we are going to make you pay an additional mana. All right. So no.
Yeah, I'll decline.
All right.
He's a 19.
19. All right, so here I still think we just play it slow. We don't really need to worry about playing this right now. So I'm going to play a Frostbow Snarl, reveal this mountain, and your turn.
I will once again attack for 1.
18.
And now I'm going to play Redain, trying to stop those 4-mana
How's
spells.
Redain's math? How's Redain's math?
Yeah, that's how this is working.
Yeah. All right. Well, since it's interesting because it was that card. Redain, knowing Redain probably will just come down next turn, makes things a little bit more difficult with what we want to get with this. You have 5 cards in your hand. We have 4. We're going up to 5. Odds are we'll want to do this next turn in response to it and see how the game develops there. But if Ross isn't able to double spell next turn, getting Teachings is not the worst. But also our hand is so good that maybe we'll just discard the card we get anyway. So let's just get...
And Mascot Exhibition.
No, I was thinking about that, but we might discard. But yeah, we'll get Environmental Sciences. And then I'll draw. I'll play a mountain and pass the turn.
So far, I don't like this as much as the mono green.
Well, I'm functioning.
I know. That's why I don't like it as much. Hardly seems fair. Yeah, I think I still have to cast Redain just so I don't get swept next turn.
I'm going to respond with Unexpected Windfall. Additional cost is going to be discarding the Sciences.
Yep.
I'll draw 2, get 2 Ryan Overturf Treasures.
And then I'd like to attack for 1.
All right, I'm at 17.
Pass the turn.
All right, untap, draw. I guess we can take things a little slow here. We've got time. Let's do an expressive iteration. Ooh. There's good and bad things about this. I haven't held lands like this in so long that it's just beautiful to look at. But clearly...
Not where you were trying to look at.
Yeah. And then I'm going to foretell. It could be anything on your turn.
Could even be a boat.
It's not a boat.
You know how long we wanted one of those. Okay, well, that's what I wanted.
I don't like
Still a
doing that.
little awkward. So, do I just jam and try to protect my Raidane from a sweeper? Then I get kind of eaten alive by Divide by Zero. You're going to need to keep both treasures around if you want to Epiphany next turn, but you're not really in any rush to do that. I kind of want to just see what's going on. So I'm going to cast an Elite Spellbinder.
Ooh. Well, since everything's going to get an additional tax, I think that means I just want to Fading Hope the Redain now.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I'll keep that one. We'll keep this one. And then your options are Burn Down the House or Unexpected Windfall.
I'll take the Burn Down the House.
All right, so this is getting...
Exiled. The Familiar will get a counter.
Yep.
And now do I want to jam into this Burn Down the House? I mean, I don't really have much of an option. If I don't put pressure on Brad, he's just going to draw a bunch of cards and cast Epiphanies. And
That's what they came to see, though.
yeah.
Let me do my thing.
Okay. I will play Aspirant, get a counter on the Familiar, and attack for 3.
All right, 14.
Yep. Your turn.
All right, not great. You have 3 cards and one's Redain?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to sack Clue and just burn down the house because next turn then they can get bigger than that and flying and things can just kind of go sideways.
Yep. Okay. I will play Redain and Maul the Skyclaves it.
Alrighty.
Pass the turn.
So now the Unexpected Windfall costs more.
6 to be precise.
6, and so I'll just say go.
Okay. I will play Intrepid Adversary.
It'll resolve.
Okay. I will
Take your
trigger it.
choice.
Yep.
Sure.
Attack
So
for 6.
that is a lot.
Brings you to 8.
And now I'm...
Play another land.
All right, I'll tap that. Discard a land. Draw 2. Get 2 more. Over turfs. Untap. Draw. 1, 2, 3. So we have 7 here. So this tax means that I'll have to pay 2 of these, but we can risk it by just firing one of these off now, hoping to develop. And develop we did. So I can just exile this, put this here, pay 7, deal 5, which will kill this, then lose the +2, and then that'll die. And then your turn.
Well, that wasn't good. Okay, let me just grab one of these frog hemoths.
Yeah.
I write Dan and equip it.
All right.
Pass the turn. One of my better draws.
The fight. He keeps fighting. All right. We'll do this again. And we'll put this in hand. Exile that. Put this on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, your go. Or actually, no. I'm just gonna, and then your go.
Attack for 4.
And I'm at what life total?
You're at
currently?
8. Half your life points, please.
Yeah, you can have half my life points.
Okay, you're 4. I'm at 20. I've got another land. You're up.
I'll divide that and put it back in your hand.
I can't divide by 0, Brad.
I know. Redain's already, failed at this test.
And I think I am very dead.
Yeah, we'll just play one turn, 1 or 2 turns. It's not guaranteed, but I mean,
Epiphany's exiled.
yeah, odds are you're dead. Like I can Memory Deluge 4, put these 2 in my hand, play this, foretell again. I'm not getting any of the cool turns, but I am taking
Attack for 2.
turns. Yeah, I'll take for 2.
I'm at 18.
We'll snarl, reveal this, attack for 4, say go. I mean, yeah, I've got Memory Delusion, Hand of Interaction, and
Yeah, I'm at 4.
I'm just
very
going to
bad.
continuously just keep building until I can finally like do something degenerate.
You can also have the Hall that's going to close the game out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I have
2
Hall.
turns.
So what I've realized is I have a lot of ways to win, but if I have the time, it's just better to just draw, just to close, to make it a 0%er.
Yeah.
Even though like I think you were at 0%, even if I just took random game actions at that point.
Yeah, just not enough early pressure from the white side in that game. But I will be on the play for game 2, and we'll get to do some sideboarding. So we're going to take a quick break here, get these sideboards set up, and then finish out the second match, see if Izzet Epiphany can at least get even against these aggregates.
I mean, the one thing I will say is I had a really good start though, but just having Windfall over a random card advantage spell allowed me to cast a few of the cards that I couldn't normally, right? I had to use a treasure to cast my Burn Down the House. And if that was just a normal card draw spell that just drew me 2 other cards, my hand would have clunked up.
Yep.
And I might not have been able to do it that turn. So like I think I might have won the game anyway, but it definitely was the biggest part was that like turn 8 that I had 2 treasures.
Windfall turned what would have been a difficult game into an easy game.
Yes.
Oh, we are going to see if that will continue to happen. I'm going to take a quick break here. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Mono White Aggro and Izzet Epiphany. On my side of things, a lot of just protection against Brad's interaction, Guardian of Faith, good creature to play against Wraths, and just nice to have a flash creature to kind of interrupt the normal pace of things, normal sequencing. Your Ambushed on the Road is the White's downgraded version of Snakeskin Veil, but still works. Curse of Silence, just another card to pressure Brad's mana. We've seen that the adjustment to playing unexpected results is really about the fact that this deck's mana is squeezed in the aggro matchups, and Curse of Silence is going to try to do that. We want to trim down on removal. I'm leaving in the 2 main deck portable holes in the play because I got to deal with these eggs, but Fateful Absence is quite poor. And Intrepid Adversary, I think, is the worst creature in the deck in this matchup. In any matchup where your opponent has a ton of interaction, Anthem effects are going to get worse because your battlefield isn't going to grow that large. You can't leverage them that much. And by itself, it's a pretty inefficient creature. The lifelink is largely irrelevant. So, basically every aspect of the card is downplayed in this matchup and the way it plays out. So it's just not great here.
Yeah, I agree completely. All right, so from my side, I'm bringing in Smoldering Egg and the 1 spike-filled Hazard, which I feel like is the sideboard split card, as in this is a way to interact with some white creatures for your mana base, but also great at dealing with the Hermit. Deranged Hermit, I think.
Yeah.
It's not Deranged Hermit.
Malevolent Hermit.
Malevolent Hermit.
Yeah.
In the mirrors. And then I'm taking out my Test
And
of
it's nice
Talons.
to make land drops in the mirror, too. So.
Yes, exactly. So I'm taking out Test of Talons and the Memory Deluges. Like Ross said, my mana's taxed. I have to interact a lot. I just do not have time to cast this card. I tried a few times against white, and it's embarrassing every time when they're like, all right, go to 11. And I'm like, cool, I'll look at 4 cards. I've never felt more like Wafutapa, just dying with 7 cards in his hand and happy about it. And just like, well, I've sculpted, and if you give me 2 more turns, I might be able to do something.
Yeah, that's so close, so close.
I've just been 1.5 turns behind all game, but we'll get there.
Yeah, you got any questions from a chat there, Rob, while we're shuffling?
I don't really at the moment. Or other than I guess some of the obligatory, like, do you think Epiphany's actually going to get banned from Standard?
Yes.
Well, I wrote an entire article supporting its ban. And if you listen to my podcast from last week, I was skeptical of it. So I've kind of done a 180 in the last 4 or 5 days.
So my favorite thing about Magic Well, that's not my favorite. I'll not be hyperbolic. Hyperbole is one of my favorite things. So what often happens is if there is something that isn't too good, people will defend it. They'll like it, right? Even people. But once it gets too good and it's getting boring and dominant, then they turn on it. So give this like 2 more weeks if this Grixis deck, or people will sculpt, figure out these Epiphany decks. They'll become too good, or at least compete with mono green on the same. And about a week or 2 later, everyone's going to be calling for the ban. It's just always what happens. It's like Omniscience, man. So many defenders of Omniscience, and then like there's a deck that uses it, and everyone's like, "Get this out of here! This is ruining things." I don't remember when, but
Omniscience.
yeah, I mean, it never did get banned, but there was like the Omniscience deck in Historic that like, Omniscience is the
Trickery?
type of card. No, with the commands and time walks. I'm just saying, like, I'm using it as an example. It's one of those cards that people are like, yeah, I can't wait till that's good, and then it gets good, and they're like, this is impressive. I hate this.
This isn't what I wanted at all.
No, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted it to just be an underdog forever.
Oh, this is sad.
Oh, is Ross Merriam gonna have the mulligan?
Well, if I knew that the top 3 cards of my deck were all lands, I would snap keep in my hand would be great. But I don't know that, so I'm going to mulligan.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to keep this either, because I don't have the lands. I guess I would have found them, but yeah, it's a little aggressive of a keep, just a 2-lander without a lot of ways to manipulate my deck.
Yeah, I might have kept that hand on the draw. There's a 1-lander with just everything, perfect curve. But it had 2 3-drops. Yeah, I'd probably still mulligan my hand on the draw. If it had 2 2-drops instead of 2 3-drops, I would keep on the draw.
It's been months, or it feels like it has since I've been here. Can someone ask me a question? Just anyone? Someone converse with us.
Oh, we actually had one just come in here. So, who are your picks? Who are your picks to win Worlds?
Seth Manfield, even though after I saw Dex, I don't think he will. But I'll keep bet on my horse, baby.
How much limited are they playing?
3 rounds out of 10.
That's not a lot. I think I really like the Grixis deck that we're playing in the back half of the show. So I would pick whichever one of them does best in limited.
Yeah. I think of anyone that I'd want to win for the storyline, I'm fine with either of the white aggressive players. I think that would be just a call, like an objective call. They're both great. If just for storyline, I honestly wouldn't mind Matt Sperling winning. He's always done so well. He's always been an overperformer. Never had too many accolades and was very good this season. Had so many matches where, like the Luis match in the mirror. Oh, it's like there's so many matches that came close. So I think I'd go there.
Interesting. Definitely keeping my 6 here. Putting one of my many 3-drops back. But which one? I think it's got to be this one.
I think I get rid of this.
I will play Cave of the Frost Dragon.
Ooh, and no
one drop.
No other action.
Sorry, Cave of Frost Dragons.
Go.
Okay. Playing Sun Gold Sentinel.
I have no graveyard. All right. Zieg.
Well, that's not good. Okay, that's better.
It's not that it's not good. It's what's for breakfast.
Attack.
Bach.
Damn, he saw the line.
Are we at least out of combat so I can not stop sweating?
Yeah.
Because if your option is kill that or play a 3-drop, I don't like that reality.
No, my option is play a 3-drop or play a different 3-drop.
Yeah, okay. I like that reality. That's fine with me.
Or a different 3-drop. Or a different 3-drop.
Oh, wow.
So the question here is if I want to be more aggressive or disruptive. And the disruptive part is just aggressive anyway, so I'm going to play Paulo.
Yeah, all right.
So you have 2 iterations. You can iterate no matter what. It'll be kind of nice to take the Epiphany so you can't foretell it. And really delay that. You're definitely iterating next turn. I'm going to take the burn down the house.
Yeah.
And then I'll pass the turn. I'm going to leave those up.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do this. 2 counters on that. Burn.
Exiling a land.
Yeah. Your turn.
Okay. I will attack in the air for 3.
Should always be attacking. Should attack with it every turn, because now once you attack with it later, I'll know you have the plus spell.
Sure.
Block.
I mean, yeah, I'll Apollo again.
All right.
Now I think I just take the iteration, or the expressive iteration, I should say.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, because Galvanic doesn't really do much outside of it.
Iteration. Fun fact.
Oh, yeah.
I spent 4 mana on this spell.
Yep.
All right, we'll put this here and that there. Let's say go.
Attack for 9.
Block. If you drew it this turn, though.
You go to 11. Right.
I feel like I should go to 8 because you're attacking. You attack for 3, 3, and 6.
Wasn't
Oh
it
no
just 3 and 6?
no! Yeah. I'm at
Yeah.
11. I think I wrote down damage and then we went to it and then I wrote it again.
Yeah, Apollo again. Yeah, take that iteration, and at least this way it'll be very difficult for Brad to transform the egg and cast another spell.
Yeah, that's frustrating to me, actually.
Gonna have to hit a Fading Hope, which I could not beat in a million years. There's also some tension because Brad's really going to want to Alrund's Epiphany next turn. That's worth quite a bit, so he really wants to foretell, but you can't foretell and Epiphany.
All right.
I would think if he had some sort of interaction that he drew, like a Divide by 0, he would just foretell and cast that.
I'm at 11.
Yeah.
If you draw an interaction to this, I die. With what's in play. I don't want to die.
But I want you to die.
Yeah. If you just play Redain, I'm also in a lot of trouble.
Oh, that's good.
So I think what I'm going to do is pass.
Huh. What did you draw? Some sort of spell you want to Galvanic? You want to copy it? Ugh, that would be a nightmare. But I can't. I have no real options other than just slam and hope. So slam and hope.
All right. I will Galvanic Iteration.
Yep.
I will... Oh, wait. You would have been able to start exiling these with each attack.
Oh, sure.
The last 2 turns.
Yeah.
So I do this after the trigger. So I'm going to block here. Flashback. Deal 2 to that.
Okay.
I go to 5.
So you're 5. Interesting.
I just thought I needed to do that because if you're a Dane, I can't cast any of my spells anyway.
Okay, I'm going to play an Adeline.
You could do that pre-combat and you get the 1/1s. You know that, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was just when it attacked.
Nah, RTFC, baby. That card is good.
Okay, let's imagine I did that.
Okay.
That's weird. They've just never templated something like that.
I know. It's great when you attack.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at 4.
This is one of those things that you miss when you've been playing for a long time. You just get used to the way they template cards.
I completely agree with you.
So when they do it a little differently.
I made the same mistake, so I totally understand. Like multiple times on stream. Like multiple times I kept making that same mistake. All right, I'm going to iterate and pop off in Spellbinder.
Yep.
Oh, this is sad. Take that, exile that, put this on the bottom.
Has the red source to play the other egg.
Yeah, play the egg. Your turn.
So you're tapped out.
I am tapped out, and I shot the thing right. Yeah. Am I dead?
You're definitely not dead.
Okay, cool. I'm close.
So if I attack with everything, you get to go eat Spellbinder, chump Adeline, take 2. And I effectively trade Spellbinder for an egg, and I get in some damage. That seems reasonable to me. Because I definitely don't want you to have a second egg when you're ready to Epiphany next turn. So, yeah, I'm going to slam with my creatures.
Yeah. So we're in a situation where if Ross doesn't have Redain, the game's over. But I'm assuming Ross has Redain. And anytime that let's say I did something differently this game and I foretold that, Redain would have came down before any of these other threats. So Redain's hitting the board. Which means I can rely on this card that's in my hand or the burn down in the house for the following turn. Now, if I just wrath the board, another Redain could maybe come down, and I will be at 2, so I'm just dead with these sitting in my hand. So we're not in the greatest of positions. We could always make tokens and deal 2 to something, and so that is a possibility. But the question is, how do I want to play this? Do I want to just get this off the board? Oh, I can't even do that because I can't. I have to be able to block up here. So I have to block. This block has to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just... never mind. This block has to happen.
Yeah, so Spellbinder down, you're at 2, you lose an egg. And now I have an interesting choice of what to name with this Curse of Silence.
Oh.
So
it has to be Epiphany, right? Just has to?
I think so. And I think it just has to be Epiphany, force you to burn down the house next turn, and then reload. So yeah, I will name Alrund's Epiphany and pass the turn.
You don't have a 2-drop?
Well, I do, but I assume you're casting Burn down the house next turn.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think there's a reason to cast it.
Well, now I don't want to cast it. So this is name an Epiphany, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to foretell a card. A card. Foretell the card. I'm going to foretell another card.
Okay.
And I'm going to divide by 0 that and deal 2 to that.
Well, maybe I needed to run a creature in.
Oh, no.
What are we getting?
How many cards are in your hand?
After the Adeline got put there, 4.
Let's draw some cards. Let's do this.
you're going to have 8 mana next turn.
And this is my exile currently.
Yeah. Those are lands, right? That you're
Yes, these are lands.
Yes, you have 7 in play, so...
Yeah. If I have an 8th land, yeah.
I guess if you have a land and you only have 1 unknown card in hand.
You just have to play Redain.
Well, if I had one, I would. Instead, I'm going to play Adeline and put you to 1.
Oh, yeah, block. I'm at 1.
Pass the turn.
All right.
Yeah, I probably needed to play my 2-drop to force the burn down the house last turn.
Yeah, deal 2 to you. Now you can trigger to draw or keep it in play.
Well, you can cast it anyway, but you're probably going to cast the other one. Yeah.
Save it for now.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to save it.
All right, so you're at 14?
Yeah.
All right.
I just did.
Draw. Oh, yeah. Do this. Put you at 12. Attack you for 6, down to 6, and I have...
And then you have 10, 12.
8 in
or
play.
8, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I need to play the Sun Gold Sentinel. Because then you wouldn't have been able to make the play that you did.
Yep.
Right?
No, I would have been dead.
Well, yeah, so
I would have had to burn down the house.
Yeah, then you would have had to burn down the house, and then I'm at least not dead to your epiphanies. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't have been able to foretell them either.
Yeah. Your draws were slow and clunky, and this deck played out exceptionally well. It gives me hope that the Izzet deck is also. Look, what I want to happen is I want Izzet Epiphany decks to dominate this tournament, so that we can just get rid of it and we can start having fun with cards again. Because that's my problem with this format. That's it. I think there's a really good format in here. I was playing that band deck I built. I was super happy about it.
Yeah,
it was fun to play,
and it'll look good to me.
And then I played against an Epiphany deck, and I'm like, that's all I can do. And then I played against a mono black deck, and I'm like, get the memo.
I actually beat Corey playing Epiphany with the Bant deck, by the way, on versus.
Hell yeah.
I mulliganed to 5 and kept 4 lands, Ren in 7, and won the game.
That's embarrassing. He should have felt embarrassed.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the London Mulligan, so you got to understand that the 2 cards I put back were second Ren and 7 Mind Flayer.
Yeah. You beat him game 1 with Mind Flayers in your deck.
Oh, yeah. It was game 1, mulligan to 5, keep 4 lands, Ren and 7.
Oh, he did not function.
He cast a lot of card draw spells.
Yeah, and just didn't it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's a really good format in here and a lot of fun interaction and stuff like that. But combo control is just a toxic archetype that just keeps like 50% of the card stock unavailable to play.
Yep, and it's that was the main point of my article is that pressure that combo control puts on a metagame. Mm-hmm. Where it's just it and the best linear decks, like you said earlier in the show. It really forces out mid range, and mid range is, as much as I don't like mid range decks, I don't like mid range decks. They're generally indicative of a healthy metagame if mid range is good. So I like mid-range decks existing, and then I will play anything else.
Yeah, they're indicative of healthy standard formats, and they're a place where you can play it. Like mid-range is not really an archetype in other formats either.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are, but they're never good. Like I'll play Junded Modern and I'll be like, I'm doing things, and you're like, you're really not. But congratulations on your 51% win percentage. Like
you're working hard.
Good boy.
You're trying hard. Yeah. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
You got to admire the intrepid spirit.
And I got to say, I might look like someone who's given up, but I do try.
Okay, so is it Epiphany going 1-1? I think the unexpected results looked very good. Just giving
you mean windfalls?
Windfall, yeah.
Okay, because unexpected results sounds like maybe you didn't think I would perform on Versus Live today, so we're just clearing things up.
Unexpected results is the 2 blue-green sorcery that it's like Mind's Desire for 1, right?
I have no idea.
And then it has some other ability like Retrace or something. I can't remember. It was from one of the Ravnica sets.
No clue.
But yeah,
it sounded more like a phrase than a magic card to me.
Unexpected Windfall. That's
unexpected Windfall.
Yeah, definitely seemed like a very strong addition. I think it was good in both matchups.
Yes.
So clear that the decks are trying to target aggro and building with that in mind. But now we're going to see the Grixis deck in action. A really cool looking list with Celestis and a little bit of black removal, not a lot, but it just rounds out the removal suite. And some other cool options. So we're going to take a bit of a longer break here to get the second half of the show set up. It's going to be Grixis Epiphany playing against these same 2 matchups. The Grixis deck, much like this version of Izzet, is built with aggro in mind. So that's been the clear focus, and that's what we're going to focus on today. See how well these great players have done in that task of trying to take down these aggro decks with Epiphany. So give us 7 minutes here to get that set up, and we'll come back and see how the Grixis deck does in the aggro gauntlet. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Brad Nelson.
And we've got Rob in the booth. Say what's up, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments,
Why do I
concerns,
laugh at
and
that
burns
every time?
in the chat because it's great.
It's so stupid and it's so funny.
Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. It is our Worlds preview show here on Versus Live, and the main narrative for Worlds is, can the Epiphany decks be tuned to beat aggro? So far, mixed results with the Is It Epiphany deck from the Czechs and Arne Huschenbach going 1-1 against mono white and mono green, and now we're going to move on to this Grixis list that there's 4 players piloting. I know Eli Cassis is one, and there's a few others I can't remember. But so clearly, a team of people getting together and working on a list.
Yeah, so this team has Eli, Jan Merkel.
Yep.
I forgot the middle name.
Moritz
Merkel. Man, now I'm blanking. Matt Sperling and Gabe Nassif. And this group has been working together all season to truly impressive, innovative decks. And I think that they have brought to the table a lot of aggressive, this is the team that brought the Is It control deck to the MPL and Rival Gauntlet. Now that didn't do really well in the MPL Gauntlet, but it did put Kai and Jan into the top 8 of the Rivals Gauntlet, and Jan ended up beating Kai and then winning the whole thing to get qualified for World. So they've also built so many cool decks like the Soul Tide Time Walk deck and Historic, and just a lot of innovation out of them. So it's really cool to see 25% of the field as one team. That's crazy to me that they would continue. They wouldn't break them up. They didn't break up the super team, but they do have what I think is the best, most innovative deck for the field. So, you might play a lot of mirrors. You might cannibalize yourselves a little bit, but you did bring probably the best deck.
Yeah, and this is definitely the deck I expect to do very well. I think it's very well built. I think the mana is easy to work when you're in a shard colored mana base.
Yes.
So that you have 2 friendly pairs, which means you get 2 different slow lands. I don't think they're playing the full 8 in the mana base, but you get more than 4, and you definitely want more than 4 of those in your mana base. So a nice, easy, splash to make work in the mana. I think Celestis makes a lot of sense because there's such a huge jump from 3 to 5. 5 is where your sweeper is, and then you're also getting to that 6 number a little bit faster. You have a lot of good 1 mana interaction, which is key with Celestis. So you can go turn 3, cast my mana rock, then still interact with you and not fall super far behind between Fading Hope, Duress, Blood Chief's Thirst. A lot of good options there. So yeah, really, really cool deck.
So I went deep. My article that went out today on Star City Games is titled appropriately and is just what's impressed me from the deck list. And I spent a lot of time talking about this one and that it's a masterpiece. And there's a lot of small things going on, like Celestis is a legendary permanent, but Celestis cycles itself away.
Yep.
Same with the Leers. And then they've, the Leer plus the Fading Hope against Green's fight cards is what we're going to see here. But what the biggest thing that impressed me the most is there's a bunch of 1-ofs. Now you can look at the 1-ofs and say, hey, that's really good with Leer, so you can flashback options later in the game. But even just one egg is impressive to me because it's this whole thing about Magic cards are getting so much better that they're all kind of evening out at the top. And
yeah,
so
I don't know if it's necessarily that they're all they're getting better, but they're the depth of good cards. There's so much more depth. So
yes.
The next best card is a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, well, even just you look at 2 mana Black Removal Souls, they're all very comparable and they're all very good.
Yeah,
and they're just all the depth is there, and when that happens, diminishing returns are real. Smoldering Egg has diminishing returns if you draw too many of them. So why not just build a deck that just has one? So when you draw it, it's at its best. And they're just using a lot of new age Magic philosophy in their deck construction of this deck, and I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I've had that idea as an article in my head for a while.
I wrote it
the importance of singletons.
I in the article I said this has been rattling in my brain for like a year, and I haven't found the way to put it into words. But now I have to because every single example's in this deck.
I know how to put it into words.
Yeah,
It's all about it's economics. It's about marginal utility. And if you if you crunch the numbers and take that the like hypergeometric distribution, right? So it's the one everybody uses to calculate probabilities.
Oh, I'm with you.
Well, so it's this weird sum of and like an awkward looking function, right? But if you do crunch the numbers and differentiate it, take the derivative, and then find the local maxima and minima, you actually find that you're the largest gap of the greatest gap that the greatest delta you get, I should say, or the greatest increase of of likelihood to draw a single copy of a card is going from 0 to 1, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. You have going from 1 to 2 isn't as much of a gap. So you actually gain the most per slot used in your deck from the first copy of a card.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I think we all intuitively understand that, but you can show it mathematically as well.
Yeah.
But I think it scares a lot of people to put one-ofs in their deck. They think that they're going to create a lot of inconsistency, but these cards all do functionally very similar things. So that overlap means that you shouldn't be worried about inconsistency, but with that and a lot of card selection, you end up having a lot more control over the game.
Yeah, and there are differences. Like for threats, you don't want to do that all the time because they don't synergize the same, and you're looking for those synergies. Like putting one, for example, in the white deck, the familiar, you don't want to do that. Because then you don't want to keep relying on ways to exile things.
Yeah.
Right? That's part of your theme. But when it comes to interaction, totally different story. And when it comes to like standalone threats like these Thing in the Ice or the Smoldering Eggs, it makes sense. If your deck's already playing spells, you don't need a bunch because the more you draw, it's going to...
And Smoldering Egg, while it is a threat, it's a creature, it's a defensive-minded threat.
Yeah.
Right. And so it still has that reactive element to it. There is a divide between proactive cards and reactive cards in that way. Proactive cards you definitely want to be more consistent with, play more copies of. Well, we sketch out this article. I guess we'll look at some other hands.
Yeah, whenever Ross starts like talking about math, I watch the viewer count just kind of fall away for a bit.
Soon we'll be able to divide by 0.
I am on the play here for game 1, and while this hand is not great, I think it is towards the low end of the keep range.
I also think that my hand is on the low end of the keep range.
Okay, I will lead on a forest.
All right. Because we drew that, I think I'm going to go for it. It's risky because I don't even want this land in play, but I'm going to dress you. I
will show you a hand of 2 creatures and 4 lands.
Oh, no, and that just plays well again. Oh, this is all terrible. I can't believe that's the hand you kept. I was just hoping to hit a Ranger's class and you don't have a 2-drop.
It's a mana-heavy hand, but the Faceless Haven is really what put it over the top for me. I am going to play a Florydron.
Oofda. That is very rough for me. All right, I'll say go.
I'm going to play Old Growth Troll before attacking so I don't get Drawry Disruption.
Smart.
And then attack for 1.
All right, I'm at 19, and I'm going to Power Word kill that and go to 17.
Okay, so now I've got an aura on one of my forests.
And we're going to put that into play and foretell.
Yeah, it's going to be Faceless Haven o'clock. I am not going to attack. I want to make a 4/4 on Brad's end step, but I am going to play another troll.
All right. This is getting brutal. Your turn.
End step, sack this forest, make a 4/4. Go to my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, fire up the Haven and smash.
How much is this? 13?
13.
I'm at 4?
I do it 19.
I was 17 because of Power Word kill. Oh, no, this one doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm at 6?
Yeah, you're at 6.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
Much
four,
better.
4 is... Yeah, the Power Word kill is not... what is it? Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Rob.
All right, well, I guess... we take these, put those there. And we'll burn down some houses.
Now I'll enchant another forest here. And I am inclined to get in there with Vasus Haven.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to make a
Put you to 2. I can make a 4/4, or I can just cast a different creature that is less valuable to me because you're at 2, and it's just as good. Yeah, I'm just going to play a 2/2.
Okay.
Make you deal with that first. Pass the turn. Well, actually, maybe not, because you have Epiphany next turn.
Yes.
So the trample on troll ends up being really important. Okay. No, I want to make a troll. Trample value is too valuable.
You're just trolling me right now. All right.
In general, I like presenting the threat that is less valuable first. But
Yes,
in
but
this
here
case,
the trample might actually be the difference of winning and losing.
yeah.
Not great. Missing a land drop is the exact opposite of what I wanted to happen this turn. And so and I'm at 2.
Yeah.
This is all just bad. I might have to play this in duress just to make sure that I don't lose to a fight spell. I like if I don't do that, I play this chump, lose to and then just lose to a fight. Either chump is the best thing I do, but I would just lose to a fight spell. So I think I'm just going to leer and duress.
Well, you're going to see a hand that is not good.
Okay, well that's also beneficial because I can at least double block and get rid of the troll.
Yeah.
Your turn.
And I think I'm going to have to take that trade because Lear is so threatening.
Mm-hmm.
So make a troll on your end step.
But you're just going to draw fight spell and win the game.
Nope.
Nice.
Yeah, animate Haven. Get in there.
I mean, yeah, I have to.
Yeah, you can't put Lear in front of Haven.
There's no option. Yeah, I just get left with a bird.
Yep, you get left with a bird, and then I will play Sculptor post-combat.
Well, that I needed last turn.
I think I'm going to play this as a land, too.
Alrighty. Okay, well, we have 1 card, and we have protection, so I'm going to play Smoldering Egg.
The 1/of egg. He's got Deluge in the graveyard to immediately transform it next turn with a land.
There's a lot of unique options with my hand. So one of them is to suspend this and play this so that if we draw land, we have a much better situation on our hands. And if that doesn't happen, we can still get a good board position. The other is to keep this in hand and no, it's just better all around. All right. Because what I could do is just actually kick this right now to get 4 counters on this.
Yeah.
But it's just not. It's a relatively weak play. All right, and I'll foretell and pass the turn.
That is very bad. Ugh.
Yeah, I didn't even draw a bounce spell either, which is
Interesting draw.
I don't remember what I put on the bottom of my library. I would remember it. Yeah, Celestis and that. So that is damaging that both of these are. This is on the bottom, but we should be able to get there with the egg.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually all that interesting. It's just not that good here against what Brad has going on. So I'm just going to fire up Haven and
Block
attack
with the bird.
and play a Werewolf Pack Leader.
Ooh-wee.
Pass the turn.
Okay, well.
Yeah, Epiphany, Transform Dragon.
Transforms
Get in
Dragon.
for 4.
Get in for 4.
I am at 16.
And then the question is, I think I'm just going to aggressively do this. Deal you 2, and I'll scry, and I want that on the bottom.
I'm at 14.
All right, untap, draw. And you're at 14.
Yep. That's 13.
That's not lethal, right? Because you're at 14?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not going to do that. And
Don't have another Fading Hope.
don't have another Fading Hope. I guess... Oh, yeah, but it can't... Yeah, it can't attack and do that. Okay, attack you for 4.
I'm at 10.
10. Your turn.
I'll play a Pack Leader.
Results.
I'll play a Ren and 7.
Yeah, results.
I'll make a Tree Folk.
All right. I will...
Rob, you didn't give us any Tree Folk.
Well, I'm going to flashback Memory Deluge and just kill off the Ren, I guess.
On your main phase?
This is
Oh, no, yeah, you had all your mana tapped. Yep. That'll play.
I don't even know if that's relevant enough. 6, 7. Wow, okay.
Was that a... Yeah. Is that a bad deluge?
Oh, no, we win the game. So we have 8 mana, so I'm just going to take 2 lands, and then I can just copy. So we'll just do it. I'll just show everyone. In case anyone hasn't seen this, it's disturbing. So I just will play Galvanic Iteration, which means the next spell.
Yeah,
and I'll deal 2, and then I'll play Alarm's
2.
Epiphany. So not only do I get 4 birds, but now I have 2 turns in the holster.
And I'm at 6.
Yeah,
So
I'm just...
even with the Tree Folk back to block.
Yeah, and I drew Fading Hope. There was no hope. It was Faded Hope.
Oh. Needed like one more good threat in there. Flooded a little bit, but I did keep a 5-lander, so...
Yeah.
And I was still able to use my mana pretty effectively. Just came up a little short. But good showing from the Grixis deck so far. The Lear just playing a little bit of defense. It's kind of cool.
It's fascinating how good. And if I had a Fading Hope earlier in that game, it would have even been more devastating.
Yeah.
Because you animate your thing, I just bounce it. And
I get blown apart.
yeah, or it protects from the fight spells. It's so good.
Okay, we are going to take a quick break, get some sideboard set up, and see if the mono green deck has a little bit more fight left in it in this matchup against Grixis. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to a Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between mono green aggro and Grixis Epiphany. Very similar sideboarding from my side to the Is It list. The one adjustment is I am not bringing in the Choose Your Weapon, and that is out of respect for Lear as a non-flyer. So I need to leave in removal that actually answers it. And I'm leaving in 2 copies of Inscription of Abundance. And so then I need to trim 1 extra creature. And rather than trim 2 mammoths, which I think might affect my mana base a little bit too much, I'm just going to cut the 1 primal adversary because it's very expendable.
I could actually see this not being that good in this matchup since it's cost so much, and I have 4 Fading Hope already. That could just be like you don't want to be as slow. Also, it doesn't interact with Cyclone Summoner. Like it plays into that game plan.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Let's try that.
Yeah, I just
actually,
think like keeping in something more aggressive is
and let's even cut the one in the...
I think that's totally reasonable. And while you do that, I'm going to talk about my stuff because I don't exactly know how they're going to sideboard. And it's obviously like I kind of feel bad that I can't figure it out, but also this deck is very sophisticated. So I'm going to talk to you about what I think I can do because there's a ton of options. One of them is bring Mind Flare in. And with open deck lists, I could see a world where I do want Mind Flare in the matchup, but you have 4 Snakeskin Bills. And this card is just interacts so poorly with that card. You just hold up 1 mana, I tap 5, I get a 3/3 in the exchange. And you get a +1/+1 counter. It's just not a good exchange of mana.
Which likely means that your 3/3 doesn't block well.
Yes, and the same thing with Egg. On the draw, I'm not the biggest fan of Egg in the mono green matchup, where I love it in other matchups. This is actually the one matchup where I'm just not that happy with this card. So that I'm going to cut for sure, and I'm going to cut the Cinderclasm for sure. I'm also bringing these 5 in for sure. Now, the other options are interesting because I do kind of want a little bit of card advantage in my deck, but I don't want a ton. So I can see keeping 1 Memory Deluge, cutting 1. Demon Bolt's another one that just doesn't have the greatest exchange, but it is something that I can just have 1 mana up for and suspend it, so I kind of like it. And even these Duresses, later in the game, if I do have a targeted spell, I can Duress, find the fight card to make sure my Lear resolves, or take the Snakeskin Bell. It can also get Chariots or Rangers class. It has options, but if it's bad, it doesn't seem like I'm going to come back in the game because I'm also looking to get to 7 mana to play a 7-drop. And doing that on a reasonable time frame, casting Duress does not apply to that strategy either. So I'm going to ultimately be cutting these cards, not bringing in the Mind Flayers, bringing these in, and keeping the Demon Bolt in. Another option is I could bring the Soul Shatter in because it does interact with the biggest thing without Snakeskin Veil interacting with it, but it's an expensive removal spell. So that's what I'm going to do. It could be wrong. I can't wait to see how they sideboard and their plans come out. Let me know in chat if you liked a lot of my reasoning or if you think I'm a big dummy head.
You know, we've talked about how there's so much depth and so many options for reactive cards to play, and that just makes sideboarding so much harder, right? Because every card, you can imagine good scenarios and bad scenarios, and you have to find out in your testing how often do the good scenarios come up, how often do the bad scenarios come up, what do the games that I win look like, and how do I sideboard in a way that creates those games most often? Those are difficult questions to ask, and they're certainly difficult, answers for us to intuit just looking at the lists.
And there's even the possibility that you take some Epiphanies out. I've been playing with this deck. I've tried that. Like, I gave Seth the rundown of how I think this deck has, what options it has, but until we see what they do, I don't know what they do. Because you could definitely bring in the Mind Flayers, keep some Duresses in, take out some of the Epiphanies, take out the iterations, and not play that game plan. Because I have 7 drops in my deck right now. That might not be correct.
It's a lot of 7s.
It is. And because they have such a high number of them, I could very well see that that's their game plan, is just not being a Time Walk deck after sideboard.
They're just trying to be a control deck.
Yeah. Just having Leers and 7/7s and just control the game with those. It's probably better. I might, if we have time, I might readdress this, or next game just try that plan.
Yeah, we talked about the Izzet deck sideboarding more in a combo oriented way, right? Because the Windfalls give you more mana, let you play through their disruption a little more proactively, and they have the Goldspan Dragons in the sideboard to stress that plan. But these Grixis decks, because they have a wider array of interactive spells at their disposal, and they have these Leers for additional card advantage that affects the battlefield, they're maybe just set up to be a straight-up control deck. So 2 decks that are very similar, overlap on a ton of cards, but potentially approach these very common matchups in completely different ways.
Yeah, I mean, I could just bring some combination of these in and just take out the entire combo package. It's totally possible.
It's doable.
I'm going to do it for the next game, regardless. I want to play 3, even if I win this game.
Sure. Yeah, we got time. And my hand is literally perfect.
Okay, well, we will definitely have time for a game then.
If I had to ask for a 7-card hand in this matchup, this is what I would do. I'm pretty sure this is what I would do.
All right, cool. Let's go.
Forest, go.
Go.
Forest, pack leader.
Bounce it. Scry, we'll keep it. And Foretell.
Forest, old growth troll.
You got it? That's not great. All right, Celestis, your turn. Day! It's daytime.
Forest, attack for 4.
Chariot. 16. I have a chariot. I'm Ross Merriam.
I do indeed have a chariot.
All right. Let's play this. Say go. Trigger. Nighttime. Loot.
And you gain a life. You're at 17.
How do I gain a life?
Celestis.
This gains you a life?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. To gain a life. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Pitching Celestis to itself. Smart.
I am a very intelligent man.
I would like to crew chariot with the troll.
Before combat.
Okay.
Or we're in combat now.
Sure.
An unexpected windfall. Get 2 treasures. Put these in my hand. And playing live Magic again. Oh, you've gotten to do this all year. It's so much fun. Like, I have to go get my own treasures. That is actually just so alien to me. All right. I guess based on what our hand is now, we're going to just say combat is fine.
Okay, attack with all my creatures I can and copy this cat.
That cat is cloned.
Take 8.
Yeah.
Brings it at 9.
What are your ideas on cloning your pets for $50,000? All right, I'm at 9.
Pass. I have no comment.
No comment indeed. All right, cool. All right, so
Sorry, I didn't mean pass. I meant land pass.
that's fine. Do you want to play anything else? We
no.
can go back to your turn because I'm going to take multiple. So if you need to go back to your turn, it's fine. You're not going to have one for a very long time. All right, let's go Vanek Iteration. Let's all run Epiphany trigger.
That's pretty good.
This doesn't need to be banned. It's totally fine. All right, so I'm going to take my first turn. I'm going to trigger Day. Loot.
Yeah, you did play 2 spells, so you gain another life, go to 10. Discarding the 3rd Celestis.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm in my first of 2 turns.
Rob, I'm surprised you didn't do the day-night joke with Brad. He wouldn't have expected it at all.
Damon.
He just
Is
turns
that
the
it?
lights off when it goes to
Oh,
night.
nice.
The
Nice.
opportunity to do it last night when I was filling in for Commander, and I was kind of sad about it when I realized it, but
That is great. Okay, so we have not a lot of action going on, which is
So I
sucky.
like that.
So I guess we'll just... I'm going to play this land. And then I'll attack for 4.
That's not good. I'm at 16.
What's not good? I
Oh,
get
yeah, you do have another turn.
Yeah.
We're not at the end yet.
Yeah, we're not at the end, and I just have to untap.
I just saw you had another Epiphany.
I have to untap. We're going to switch it back to night.
Brings you
Or,
up.
yeah, I didn't do anything, so it goes to night. Puts me at 11. I will do the loot. Attack.
You draw for turn.
No. Attack.
I'm at 12.
12. I would like to put everything back in our hands. Except this giant wizard, of course. Of course. Your turn.
Okay.
Are we having fun yet?
Having fun, yeah. I will play a chariot,
Results.
get some cats, play a tangled veil, and pass the turn.
Alrighty. Interesting. Now I'm at 11. That's actually a decent amount of life. So that'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think you can kill me. Especially if I make that my play next turn. Okay, I'll attack. Taking it? You're
Yeah.
at 5? What could kill me? Froggemoth? Frog couldn't kill me on its own. Not from 11.
I have Froghemoth Mountain Blood Rage Brawler.
Do I even know what Blood Rage Brawler is, but I'll believe you.
It's 2 mana 4/3. You discard card when ATBs.
And has haste? Oh,
No.
to crew.
Yeah.
That would work.
Or Plains Giant Ox. That would work.
These are all cards I don't know what they are.
That's the 06 that crews with toughness.
All right, so I'm going to play Celestis, which triggers Day again.
No. When it ETBs,
It becomes Day as Celestis enters the battlefield.
if it's neither day nor night.
Oh, yeah. These are interesting cards. Interesting. I
I
think
played with this card during previous seasons, so I know how it works.
Okay. I think I just hold these up. So I can do them right now, which would give me a trigger, which would give me a loot, which would give me a life. And even if there is a way to pump, I can make sure one of the cats is dead because I just don't think I'm going to die. But I do think in case Ross Cat pumps or fight spells or found some shenanigans to interact with the board, I think I say go because I just don't even think that you can do 11. I think I'm that far ahead. So I'm just going to say go.
Shenanigans, eh?
I am looking for no shenanigans.
I will cast Old Growth Troll.
That's fine.
I will crew my chariot with the troll.
That's fine.
I would like to go to attacks.
That's fine.
Attack for 8. Copy this cat.
That's fine.
Take 8, please.
Sure, I'm at 3. Is it scary that I just don't care?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will
Stack is
then
wild.
play another land and another old growth troll.
All right, that's fine.
Pass the turn.
All right. I have a question. Are any of your creatures giants, wizards, and lands? Or lands? All right. We're going to go today. I'm going to loot. I will get rid of...
Yeah, you go to 4.
Get rid of this. I go to 4, and I'll just play another giant summoner and bounce all your stuff. Attack for 7.
You know I had a pack later. And
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious that I have a Veil. Yeah. I mean, my 7-card hand there was 3 lands, pack leader, troll, chariot, and Veil.
You got eviscerated.
Yeah.
And
it
you're
was-
on the play.
Yeah.
And you got eviscerated. Like, it was like, there was no sweat.
Like I don't think it gets better than that.
No.
Apparently, Chad is telling me that you made a mistake on turn 2. Apparently,
I made a
your
mistake?
Land should have been tapped, I guess. I don't know. I missed it and didn't see it.
My land?
Did you play a slow land untapped on turn 2?
Well, even if I had...
I think you had another land to play.
I
instead
had-
of it.
I know I
it's
had 2
not like
pathways.
that
Yeah.
big of a deal. But,
I'm pretty sure I played a pathway on turn 2.
I don't know. Chad
Oh, maybe
thinks
I
you played
didn't.
The shipwreck marsh.
I don't know how much streaming you've done, but Chad is never wrong.
Look, I'm cheating, Ross. Just give me it. Just let me have this one.
I mean, I'm not like going to give you an asterisk or you can take away the win or anything. I mean,
I 3-1 you and still don't get the marbles. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Let's play one more.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly just theoretically seeing if this is a possibility for the deck. I do not believe it is. I do not think that this is what they're going to do, but we're just exploring. I think that's fine.
As long as you don't explore twice.
No, I'll just play my lands. Dude, there's not a more dynamic duo than me and not playing my lands correctly on versus for like 5 or 10 years or how long. Just always happens.
You should have been here during preview season for Zendikar Rising and Call Time when we had to play with proxy pathways.
Yeah.
That was fun.
All right, I'm going to take these 6 out and I'm just going to bring these in. I do not think this is the correct way to do things, but I'm just exploring the options.
Yeah. Well, your 7/7 drops didn't appear to clog your draw in that game.
No, that unexpected windfall. It's so good. I ramped to 8 mana on turn 5. I played my combo on turn 5. Ramp and extra turns and Magic? What?
Big if true.
I think we're onto something new here.
Well, that's what people expect from Versus Live, the pinnacle of competitive Magic.
It is.
It's actually the second. The pinnacle is the Croaky stream.
That is true.
So Corey and I are the second and third best Magic players in the world, but we both recognize that Croaky's is number 1.
Oh, because I think there's a few Japanese players that stream on not Twitch that are bigger than both of you. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, I get to be on the play here for our pity game to see if this control plan can do anything. And
I need this in writing that it's a pity game.
Yeah, can you just put that on the overlay, Rob? I've got another solid hand I'm going to keep.
I don't think I should. I should take this seriously and not keep that. It was duress plus an expressive iteration and 5 lands. Doesn't seem like what I want. Like, I already don't think this is the right thing to do, but might as well just try it.
Gotta try things. You never know what you're going to learn.
Yeah.
Some of
5,
the greatest
6, 7.
inventions in history were accidents.
Ooh.
Silly putty, the chocolate chip cookie.
The chocolate chip cookie?
Yeah, it was an accident.
Does anyone think that this is a marked Magic card?
No one.
No, would a judge allow it?
No one can see it. I got Forrest go.
Ooh. Happy chat?
Chad is never happy. Pack leader.
Yep. Oh, not good. Not good, not good, not good. Go.
Smush for 3.
17.
And play another pack leader.
Oof.
Getting ready to draw some crads.
Oofda. Oofda, not good. Oofda, not good. Go.
I would like to declare an attack.
You've got it.
Draw 2.
Yeah. 11.
Well, that felt good.
I bet it did.
I've got a Kazandu Valley.
I say you just say go.
And definitely playing things. I am going to play a Ranger class.
You got it.
Get a wolf.
Oh, now you show up. Perfect timing. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Oh, this is bad.
I'm just hoping for no sweeper here.
Yeah, I don't got a sweeper. I've got the play that we said isn't going to work.
Which one do you want to try to take?
Huh?
What are you targeting?
One of the wolves, because I at least want to be able to block that.
Yep. And we'll show you the very obvious veil.
All right, Ross. This is now labeled as a pity game, so we're good.
Okay.
Perfect. Awesome. That's what we needed. We just need it on the record, right?
And I guess that is not quite lethal.
Good.
So what am I worried about on your turn? Just another sweeper, right? So I don't know. Just trying to figure out how I lose this game. Seems difficult, especially since you don't have epiphanies in your deck. I guess you can get the Cyclone Summoner in 2 turns. So I really want to kill you next turn. So how that's the question for me is how do I best kill you next turn?
Boredom.
You clearly don't have a sweeper, so maybe it's just going ham.
Please don't.
I'm going to level Ranger class.
Oof.
So I can attack with all my creatures and put a counter on the wolf token and draw 2 cards.
Blocks.
Yeah.
Wolf.
And yeah, so then you're going to take 7.
I'm at 4.
Let's see to 4. Then I will play another forest and another lethal threat, Old Growth Troll, which is not a bad thing to extend into a sweeper anyway. And you're up. So I should have 3 lethal attackers next turn. So I can put a counter on the wolf with the Ranger class again, on the wolf token.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah.
I drew this a turn late to where everything was a turn late again this turn. I played this on turn 3, then drew the Fading Hope. Drew this for turn 3 land drop.
Yeah. I had the inscription, so I could have fought and attacked for 10, but I was 1 short. So if I just go activate Ranger class, fight with a 4/4, then I have 2 3s.
I
and a
like
4.
that a lot more.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was a good sequencing, but yeah, I don't think I would have lost that game regardless of like the game plan because I mean I guess this would have been an epiphany or a iteration, but I didn't draw anything else like.
Yeah, you just didn't interact with and you run the draw.
Yep. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how they actually sideboard this deck because it's just such a masterpiece. It's just
Cyclone
it's a
Summoner
concoction.
is sweet.
Oh yeah, the card is phenomenal.
So looking forward to seeing that one. But Grixis up a match, and now you're up 2-1. So we got one more match to play. It'll be Grixis against Mono White aggro.
Yep.
We're going to take a short break, get that last match set up for y'all, and see if I can complete our 2-2 tie, so I get to keep the marbles. Or Brad finally.
It's a completely fair situation to just tie and win.
I mean, when I say that, what I really mean is I'm checking the marble bylaws to find another way to screw Brad. So I'll be pouring through those during the break, and I'll figure it out. But you're not going to want to miss the last match. We'll be right back after this break. Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Brad Nelson.
And we've got Rob in the booth. Say what's up, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. It is our final match, previewing what's going to happen in the standard portion of the World Championship starting tomorrow. And so far, kind of mixed results for these Epiphany decks. We've been playing the adjusted or tuned Epiphany lists that the World's competitors brought to that tournament against the aggro decks that they had so much trouble beating last weekend in the SCG Tour Online. And we've seen some good things. We've seen the aggro decks still do their thing in some of the games. So definitely still competitive from that side. But I think we've definitely made a lot of strides with the Epiphany decks, or maybe not we, but they.
Yes.
As I try to take some credit that I don't deserve.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that's happening is the interaction points. The purposely bad turns that were happening before, like I'm going to play 6 blue card draw for 6 mana or 4 mana spells into aggressive decks. Like that was happening on purpose. Decks were built this way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hate for the mirrors in main decks that we're not seeing here, right? We're seeing a ton of interaction. For Fading Hopes, for example, when people were going down on that number, this Grixis deck has 4 of them. And just a ton more interaction in the main decks on the purpose of dealing with these aggressive decks. And it's going to make the life a little bit more difficult this weekend for these aggressive decks. I honestly do believe that.
Do you think that somebody bringing a sort of older take on Epiphany might end up kind of stealing the show by just winning all the mirrors?
Well, that theoretically could be the case, but no one did that. And even in that, not really. Like there's not a ton of changes. It's just that there were a few concessions, and the options show that, right? Like a lot of the decks prepared for 2-deck metagame, and those 2 decks showed up. Now there's tech that we haven't seen. For example, this Grixis deck is not playing all the Test of Talents counterspells. In fact, they're just playing Duresses and I forgot what the card is. The Mind Rot, Go Blank, which can exile the flashback cards, and it's phenomenal. And so the games, I truly believe, are going to be very exciting this weekend. I honestly think there's going to be a lot of craziness. Maybe by like the 6th or 7th time that we see somebody take a million turns in a row, we're a little frustrated. But I do think that this Grixis deck is going to put on a wonderful show to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think as stale as the metagame looked last weekend, and we knew that not a lot was going to change. Everybody expected these decks. We weren't sure exactly what proportions. Yep. Getting 8 Epiphany decks and only 5 total of the monocolored aggro decks, maybe that's a little surprising.
Yep.
But we knew that those decks were going to be, far and away the most played in the field. But given that, I'm pretty excited at the actual list that people brought, because there's a lot of innovation with how the decks are built, and it's going to change the play patterns, like you said, and make it a lot more interesting than I would have expected after seeing the results last weekend.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm super excited to watch this weekend. Well, get through the limited portion anyway. But I know there's other people out there that probably want to watch limited.
Maybe 1 or 2.
After not having it for 2 years.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've heard bad things about this limited format. But
oh, really?
yeah, just Dimir cards are apparently way better than everything else.
That's true. Yeah.
But as far as this match is going, I'm looking at my 7, and it's fine. I'm on the play, so I'll keep.
Will you mulligan once today?
I mulliganed exactly once.
When I didn't also. Yeah, but I can't complain about our hand here.
If you're a regular viewer, I tend to mulligan a lot more than Corey, because Corey never mulligans.
Yeah, Corey won't mulligan.
Yeah. Corey is up as close to Seth Manfield as I've seen of just never mulliganing.
Both of us have started mulliganing less because we hang out with Seth and watch his games more.
Yeah. Okay, I will play a 2-drop that doesn't die to Spikefield Hazard. I could have played this Luminar Aspirant. You think I want to get this down early, get more counters, but,
Grumble, grumble, grumble. What is the play here?
Ross, if Dimir is good, Lord Val wants to know, what about Sultai?
I don't think the fixing in the limited format is very good.
Blood Chief's Thirst. Your turn.
Well, that's not good.
Look at this deck, though. It just doesn't look like anything that I've played. Yeah.
Go to combat?
Yeah. No, well, you have to say trigger. Go to, yeah.
You jerk.
Well, you could go to combat. You have to go to combat before to target it.
I mean, to be fair, Ross put the counter on before you could cast your spell, so it's fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah, your turn. Day.
I would have really liked to have drawn that card last turn. Okay, I will play Adeline.
Adeline resolves.
That's the turn.
Bouncy.
Oh, God.
Scry. We'll keep.
So you've drawn your... Did you just
Oh,
draw the card?
yeah. I did, in fact, do that.
I stopped him, chat. You're welcome.
Go.
Oh, this will
Trigger.
Go. This will go great.
Night. Trigger.
So you're at 21.
It's so dark in here. Wait, where'd the marbles go?
Nowhere. What marbles?
Yeah.
Brad, I don't know what you're talking about.
You better have a good turn here.
I mean, I have Adeline Luminarch Aspirant. Is that good? Does that count? I'm going to put the counter on the Aspirant
Technically.
to play around another Spikefield Hazard, but...
What's in your hand?
Two cards.
Alright.
Yeah.
Sound effects helped, right? Oh wait, you played 2 cards. That would have triggered day,
Yeah,
and
true.
I would have not looted. Yeah, I had no cards in hand.
But you gain a life. So you're 22.
Yeah, I probably would have looted away the burn down the house. I don't know how to do this. I probably would have just looted away.
You just skip it.
Okay.
Attack you for 4.
Yeah.
Play a 1/1. You're up. You're at 18.
All right, I'm at 18.
This Grixis deck has looked really good, especially Celestis.
Oh, Celeste, I was playing with 1 for a while. Eric Froelich actually told me to put it in my deck, and I've been extremely impressed by it. Maybe I shouldn't even play the land yet because I'm taking an extra turn, and I might want to loot it after my 2 turns. So we'll do that. I'm going to keep the land, untap, draw. Now I will play a land. Do this again, attack.
I'm at 18. So we got
These
18
are
all.
exiled because I can flash stuff back. I've got 2 more birds. Untap. Draw. Attack for 4. Cast the one I just drew out of my hand. I get 2 more birds. Untap.
14.
Draw.
This is fine. Everything's okay. No problems here.
Expressive iteration. We'll look at some cards. We'll put this in like that. Like this. This will be this. I'll cast this. I'll play a land tapped, and I'll attack you for 6 again.
I go to 8.
And your turn.
Attack.
Block the 1/1.
You go to 14.
Yep.
Play Elite Spellbinder. Got him.
Got him.
Don't even get a counter on my familiar.
Yeah. Alrighty. If I draw a 1 mana interaction, or 2 actually, because this would cost this, and I can use that. All right. Let's see what I draw. I didn't, but I can make you chum block it at the very least. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Animate, attack. I'll keep 1 back and put you at 3. I'll do that because we're friends. All right, your turn. Switch to night. Draw. Discard Celestis. I go to 15. Oh, are we done?
My turn 3 when my hand was just Maul and Aspirant and lands. So I just knew I needed to draw a threat that wasn't going to die to Spikefield Hazard.
Yeah.
And I just drew 2nd Aspirant.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, the game was basically over as soon as that happened.
Oh, for sure.
I just never got anything going at that point. But you played, 3 relevant pieces of 1 mana interaction. You had Bloodchief Thirst, Fading Hope, and Spikefield Hazard.
Yep.
and into triple time walk, and yeah, that was gross. So
It wasn't even close at any point in the game.
yeah, none of the games have against this Grixis deck except the one where you sideboarded weirdly.
Weirdly, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep soldiering on here, try to get the win in the post sideboard game. So we're gonna take a quick break, get those sideboards set up, and finish out our final match here on Versus Live. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to a Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Mono White Aggro and Grixis Epiphany. On my side, a lot less happening than in the first match against Izzet, and it has to deal with how the Grixis deck is built in a very different way than the Izzet list. Guardian of Faith, very good against sweepers, but there aren't as many sweepers in this deck. And one of the ones you have, Cinderclasm, is very cheap, so it's hard for Guardians to actually catch it. You're ambushed on the road, much worse than a card like Snakeskin Veil in a matchup where you have black removal and Mind Flayer removal that isn't dependent on the size of my creatures.
Yeah.
So now there will be times when you have the right removal and it lines up well, but you can't bring this card in if there's a decent chance that it's not lining up well.
I agree.
So your ambush on the road also can't come in. And then a switch in how my removal operates. I'm not just worried about Egg. I have to be worried about Leer and Mind Flayer. So I've got to leave in Fateful Absence instead of Portable
And
Hole.
potentially the Cyclones. I'm not bringing them in, but they're there.
Yeah, you're right. They're there too. So it's really just cutting Portable Hole, leaving in Fateful Absence, and bringing in the 2 Curse of Silence. Not a lot to do because the Grixis deck doesn't leave the same holes that the Izzet deck does.
I completely agree with that. And over here, I think it's some easy change, like just taking these dresses and these Member Deluges out. Member Deluge is good for that control plan, but we're still a combo deck, and I'm going to try to be. And it's potentially incorrect to take both out on the draw. If I end up a game on the play, I'll bring one back in for sure. But I've been playing these strategies for a long time, and maybe my decks aren't as well built, but this card just never gets me there. Whereas like my Leer can do all of that work for me in the late game anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that you have Leer as an additional source of card advantage really makes it so much easier to cut Deluge. And
Yeah, we have not seen that game play out yet, but it's there.
I can imagine how it plays out, and I don't like it.
Oh yeah, it's probably very boring to watch as well.
Yeah.
And do.
It's just you've just effectively drawn 15 cards.
Yeah, that's the one weird thing about it is usually a good Magic card, like a well-designed Magic card, is fun for at least one of the players. But I feel like after you do Leer a few times, when you just have too many options, like it's not that you're sequencing in a certain way. It's like, okay, I'm going to navigate this, and I'll finally find my card advantage. No, it's just like you can play everything again. Just cast things. You'll win the game super fast. It's like, okay.
Yeah, one of those cards that once you take over with it, you can take random game actions and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I will be on the play here. Back against the wall. I had the early lead for the marbles, and
Yeah, I'm getting those marbles.
it just disappeared. Much like the marbles. I didn't say marbles.
Who said marbles?
I've got a fine hand here. Probably one of the better hands I've had with the white deck on the day. So
I mean, I think this hand's really bad, but Ross isn't that much competition, so it should be fine.
I've got an Usher of the Fallen.
Alrighty.
Please don't have Spikefield Hazard.
What are you talking
God.
Go. I don't know what you're talking about.
I would like to declare an attack.
Yeah, you can attack.
Attack for 2. You're
18.
18. Boast.
Sure.
You're up.
You're so excited about such a marginal thing you just did. Your turn.
Yep.
It's just those small victories.
Declare an attack.
I do like that the ability's boast and it makes Shaheens.
It actually doesn't. It makes warriors, but I wanted to make a Sheen.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
It makes human warriors.
15.
And Sheen is just a human. He's not a warrior. We knew that already, though.
I mean, he's been playing Control for 10 years. I feel like he's a warrior.
Yeah. Sheen is actually our official complaint department here at Versus Live. So if you do have any issues or complaints about the show, please send those to
Corey brought that. That's the Bash Bros joke for 2 years. Corey just brought that here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got him playing double duty.
Just don't look at my hand.
I will not be looking at your hand. I'll be casting Adeline.
Oh, no, I didn't want you to do that either.
I guess I should have done that pre-combat. I forgot.
I mean, I'll let you do
Yeah.
it pre-combat. Okay, now I'll Cinderclasm before combat, and I'll be at 18.
You're at 18. I would have done it pre-combat.
No, and then I would have, of course, cast my spell.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Stupid Celestis.
You already hate it. Yeah, I was trying to just snag the 3-1, but now you have an Adeline, so that's really bad. So I'm at 18. Just to make sure that, because
I'm going to play Raidane to try to stop a big spell. Hopefully you don't have Fading Hope.
Sure.
And then
I'll take 3.
4, because I get a token.
Oh, yeah.
So you're at 14?
Yeah.
Pass the turn.
This card's going to kill me, and I don't want to die.
Okay, no Fading Hope there is very good for me.
Okay, I will put this into play tapped.
As a spell still.
Yeah, and then I'm going to foretell.
Okay.
And I'm going to say go and switch to night.
Yeah, so you gain a life to 15.
Looty loot.
Loot away another Celestis, because that's all you ever discard.
No. All right, there we go. Just the land. These turns of using foretell on your Celestis turn and to flip it and then play an interactive spell and get this loot and this little marginal values are nice.
Yeah. Celestis is a good card. I'm going to take a peek at your hand this turn, though.
Well, I guess that is going to activate my trap card.
Yeah, not much I could do about that. So you're going to be able to Epiphany and God, they're like very similar cards. I'm not sure which one I really want to take. I kind of want to take the Iteration, just so you don't get to untap and iterate with so much mana left over to cast Interaction. Though you're going to have 4 mana after an Unexpected Windfall too. So I guess there's not much of a difference, but at least that what makes you burn the treasures from it.
This is actual card advantage too. This is not.
Yeah.
So I'd rather cast this next turn when I'm trying to.
Yeah, and it digs you a little bit deeper, sees an extra card. So yeah, I'm going to take the Iteration. And then I will attack with both creatures, get another Shaheen. So this is 6. Yeah, to 9. You gained 1 on the Celestis. So you're at 9, and I'll pass the turn.
All right, you did not play 2 spells, correct?
Correct, only the 1.
All right. Yeah, well, let's get some breathing room, get some birds, untap. Start my next turn.
Starting with a Windfall or an Iteration. Probably a Windfall.
Yeah, I think it has to be the Windfall. All right, yeah. We'll do a Windfall. I'll draw 2. Uh-oh.
I like uh-ohs. Especially uh-ohs when I have lethal on board.
Well, I have 2 birds.
Oh, yeah. I guess. For now.
For now. I mean, the birds might go away. Actually, yeah. Well, Iteration before we play land.
Okay.
And we'll put this in our hand, put this at the bottom, and exile Disruption, play Disruption, say go, trigger that. I go to 10, I loot, and discard a land.
Okay, so I cannot kill Brad.
It's good.
So I just want to apply pressure, maybe not extend into a sweeper as much. So I think I'm just going to maul up Paulo so that he doesn't trade for a bird. And get in with everybody and get another Shaheen.
Not great.
So I've got 2 5-power creatures and some 1s.
We'll block and go to take
Block
3.
the big uns and go to 7.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
All right.
You got 5 in hand now? 5, yeah.
Yeah, 5 cards.
Land here, so we're 8 mana.
Lear. My options are these and pass the turn.
I will Fateful Absence Lear.
Yeah, even if I Cyclone, it's still going to be lethal. And if I kill this, it's lethal. So I just needed one more mana to get through the turn. Yep.
Nice. Adeline, putting in work.
Well, don't fret. I get to be on the play.
Yeah, but you're also going to mulligan to 4.
I'm going to mulligan to 4?
Yeah,
Is that like a rule?
it is now.
I just have to start at 4 cards?
Yeah. You don't know that's how we play versus live now? If you're trying to win the marbles, you have to mulligan in the
There's
last
the
game.
asterisk. There it is. Finally figured it out.
Let's just both mulligan to 0.
Oh, that match. I crushed Corey, then he's like, let's do them all to 0. Or and he's like, no, you suggested. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that I had the marbles on the line. Just making up rules over here.
Corey is the master of the let's stretch this one to best 3 out of 5 when he's down 2-1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. I lived with him for years.
Yeah.
How many games of Mario Party turned into from a best of 1 to a best of 7? We play it all day long.
Corey is very good at Mario Party.
Well, I had him back when he was younger. Like my actual young brother, like 9, I could beat him, Once we became a teenager, I started losing to most things. He's just way more competitive than I was.
We've played a bit of the old N64 Mario Party, and the controls are just I don't even know like where I am. It's like I feel like
the best quality controllers either.
Yeah,
they weren't.
They're telling their age.
Y'all see that Tetris stuff? That a new grip has been made for Tetris, turning Tetris up on its head again. A 30-year-old game is getting new tech.
Nice.
And it like involves holding the controller like opposite how you would on your heel. And like the rolling. Have you ever heard of rolling on controllers?
Sure.
You do this to get faster clicks, but you can't really do that with that controller. So you're playing it upside down and you're putting your fingers on the cursor and you're rolling the back of it, but you have to hold it on your foot because you can't do that with one hand and also control it. It's wild.
People are really good at things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's so cool.
Just how do you figure that out?
I don't know.
The moment of discovery, and then to recognize the potential and start like refining it, because I'm sure they weren't great at it when they first started.
Yeah, they switched from some kind of game. Like there's 2 different versions. I don't know. I watched a 15-minute video. I'm not an expert or anything. I don't remember everything about it, but it was just like really cool to see.
Okay. Speaking of things that are cool to see, now it's time for me to win the marbles. My hand is heinous. I'm mulliganing.
Oh yeah.
I have no 1 or 2 drop on the draw.
Chat, give me it. You know it. If you ever want me. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
It's like Corey never left.
We might not look the same, but we have a lot of the same annoying tendencies.
I know.
I know. Yeah, when I moved and then he came back, you're like, well, he's a nicer guy, but he's similar.
There's some overlap there. Okay. Better 6 here. Hopefully. It's not great, but it's keep.
Your turn.
Always has turn 1 red mana for my 1 drop. Thankfully, I don't have one.
Ah, you got me. You got me real good.
Is it something you're happy about in mono white?
Nope. Don't worry, though. My 2 drop can get Spikefield Hazard in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Celestis into Hazard?
Yay.
Jesus. Don't do this to me.
Into what? Spikefield Hazard?
Yeah. I will play Adeline.
All right.
Attack for 3. You're at 17. I'm at 23.
Such a busted card. It's so good. Oh, all right. I'll play this. Say go. Switch to knight. Gain a life. 18. Loot. Discard another Celestis. It's so good.
I will attack for 3.
Yeah.
You're at 15. I'm at 26.
Yeah. How will I ever beat this life total?
I will play Elite Spellbinder.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm gonna let that resolve.
I like that. Well, that's not good. So Brad can cast the Cinderclasm regardless of if I take it, so I'm not going to take Cinderclasm. I'm going to stress his mana on something else.
And I didn't play it now because you could play another 1-drop. You know, you could have drawn one and didn't sequence it until now. And so this stops you from playing it. If I just slammed it, you just play a creature.
I guess I will exile the Blood Chief's Thirst.
I'm just going to leave it over here because I have been. Like,
sure. I am then going to play a Curse of Silence, and I have no idea what I'm going to name. Well, do you want to respond? Because I might name Cinderclasm.
I can still cast it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you might not want me to get the draw immediately.
Oh, it sounds fun. I'll let you.
Yeah. I think that's what I want to do. I think I just want to cycle this. Because I don't have any pressure right now, and without any pressure, these kinds of effects are not very valuable.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to name Cinderclasm.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, and then I'll draw a card with it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it wasn't good.
All right, we'll go back to day. I'll draw. And I will discard a land. Then a draw for turn.
So I just know you have a Fading Hope.
Yeah. All right. I'll foretell. We'll go back to night during your turn. And I'll loot again.
17. Sun Gold Sentinel.
You got it.
I will exile the Cinderclasm.
You got it. Actually relevant in this matchup.
Yep. And then Intrepid Adversary.
You got it. All right. It's back to day.
Yeah.
Loot.
18.
Ooh.
Maybe I was supposed to just kick an Adversary last turn so we don't transform the Celestis.
Oh, yeah. I can just discard this. All right. So I'm at 18.
Yeah.
Okay. Draw for turn.
Yep. Is this Lear?
No. Burn the house down.
Jesus.
Burn down the house. Your turn.
We got him now, kids. Luminara Gas Prince.
You got it.
Go to combat.
Spike. No, I'm kidding.
Put a counter on it. You're up.
It has happened. All right. We'll start by getting some birds.
It's not good. I think my only hope is for Brad to forget that was there.
All right. Take this. Trigger and attack for 3.
Oh, I'm still at 23, though. I'll be fine.
That is true. And your turn.
Go. It is now night.
Oh, yeah.
You're at 19.
Loot. We'll get rid of another Fading Hope. Draw. Trigger. Attack for
9.
9, yeah.
Go to 14.
14. Lear, go. Oops, we should just keep up the bounces. I get to take another turn next turn out of my graveyard. Very nice.
Usher of the Fallen.
You got it.
Go.
All right.
Oh, you're conceding?
No. No.
That looked like a concession to me, Rob.
Yeah.
Looks like you don't win the marbles.
That is true. I did extend my hand Well, you did first. Maybe we'll get the judge department involved. But
we don't have Ricky anymore to do. He was our in-house judge.
So now, because I discarded this to Celestis, I'm now able to flash it back and it'll get exiled, but I get an extra turn because Lear is just kind of gross with this.
Yeah, and I'm dead on board.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your 2 attacks killed me. You were 1 short if I had no blocker out just on the first.
Oh, no, you were dead.
Yeah, a million.
Yeah.
You can take an extra turn, then flashback, burn down the house to make 3 more devils on that turn.
That's the first thing that I ever saw, too, is with the expressive iteration.
Yeah.
Not expressive.
Galvanic iteration.
Galvanic iteration. The first time I put this in the deck, and I was just like, okay, I take 2 turns, and then I have 8 mana, so then I make 6 tokens. And I'm like, this is the best thing you could possibly do, and it's actually this. The more controlling version, because that's what combo control does, is it figures out how to implement other game plans.
Yeah, and then, it just puts you in that squeeze. And the Grixis deck just dominated these 2 matchups. The Izzet deck looked, the games were close and green won, so it looked reasonable. I think that was a step above last week. This is like multiple steps above.
Oh, this deck is just so far ahead of the rest of the field for Worlds. It's not close. This deck is going to dominate the SCG Tour Online this weekend. I have a lot of high hopes for this deck.
Yeah, I'm, wow, that Celestis.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, Celestis is messed up. I was only playing 1. I never thought about playing more. And that's the big mistake. It's so good.
It just, not only the ramping, the mana fixing, the synergy with all the 1 mana interaction, but you also just transformed it like 4 or 5 times a game. It's your mana rock also just gives you 4 life and a bunch of loots. Now you definitely don't need to cast Memory Deluge. You just loot it into all your stuff.
That is true.
And that looting synergizes with Lear. Now you're not even losing those cards. You're just
I don't have to
filling your
cast
graveyard.
them. Yeah, I just created my graveyard.
Yeah, that's
to have all the interaction I needed.
And so Lear and Celestis. You wouldn't think those 2 cards, just reading them, have a lot of synergy, but they actually do.
Oh, yeah.
Because they both play really well with all the 1 mana interaction, and it ramps you perfectly
This deck
into
is
Lear.
built exceptionally well. Like, I can't believe half my article was just gushing about this deck. I don't even get why I should get paid to do that. But it was. I was talking about everything I loved about this deck and why it's so good. And what lessons we can get from that. So yeah, again, I talked about it earlier, but my article's on about that. And then you should definitely read Ross's before next week's, because we'll probably we'll see iteration win 75% at Worlds, and then we just get to have the receipts on Twitter next week.
This is one of those decks where I knew going into this week that you just needed to find the iteration deck that beat aggro, and I wasn't sure exactly what it was. I had some ideas. But when you look at this and you see it, your immediate thought is, okay, they did it.
Yeah, and you don't even lose a lot in the mirrors because you might not have all the counters, but I've played a lot of mirrors, but these go blanks, all these duresses, the Benevolent Hermits, you have a very strong plan against them, and you keep up with them, and so not having the counters and then force through your Lear, now you have these extra duresses. And you kind of just pick people apart.
And the duresses are also very good with Lear, right? Mm-hmm. So you're able to force it through. And if you go, Lear, duress you immediately, take what your follow-up is going to be. So I'm not that worried on the turn that I'm tapped out. You're suddenly looking a lot better. And your Lears also give you a great top deck potential if you both run low on resources. If you rip Lear, the game is just over.
And the matchup is all about mana and who gets to things first. And you can take these aggressive lines because they can't do their time walk shenanigans too early. So you have a turn or two that you would kind of want to be proactive or make them use some of their counters, especially on a Lear or something. But if everyone's going to play Test of Talents as well, then it just doesn't work because it doesn't counter Lear and then nothing counters after that. It's not.
Yeah.
So these decks that have a bunch of Test of Talents will kind of get
get got. Your duresses play well with Celestis. If you want mana advantage, Celestis gives you that too in the mirrors. So it's like they just saw all the angles.
It does feel like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to eat my words too much for next week, but I think a lot of other people share the same, that this deck's kind of messed up. They kind of did it.
Yeah, it was it's I'm trying to think of a I would say the 4-color Saheeli deck. Mm-hmm. If you remember, there were some people playing that at that Pro Tour in Dublin, but the lists weren't quite as refined. and they didn't have as many planeswalkers. I think was the big thing.
Yeah,
and didn't lean heavily on Oath of Nissa like they ended up doing. And once we
the big
found
one is
those
Oath of Chandra. We had Oath of Nissa. So Michael Majors was the one that was really championing our list, but we were playing he was playing the Gear Hulk, the Green Gear Hulk in the deck.
Yeah.
And this is week 1, week 2. And we all did this thing where we all swapped the decks we were championing because I was working on Green Black Constructor. And I suggested we try Chandras and Chandras, whatever, Oath of Chandras, just to kill these creatures because I was playing against a lot of these aggressive decks. And we never went down that path, or he didn't, and I just kept working on Constructor. And I can't complain. Corey and I both went 8-2 in Constructed, I think.
Yeah.
It was just a very good choice. The Constructor deck was great in a Field of Mardu. But we could have had the best version of that deck. And we had all the pieces. We just didn't put them all together the right way.
Yep. And, that's often, what happens. We see the shell come together, and the shell is powerful, but it gets exploited in a few different ways. And once you figure out how to counter those exploits, it's all over.
It is. And there's not much. The thing is look at this. This is a Grixis version. Maybe there's a Jeskai version. Maybe there's a Teamer version. I think Grixis is the best. But your mono green aggro deck is not going to get that much significantly better the next 2 weeks.
It's not going to be next week. Okay, all the aggro players go in the tank and figure out how to adjust to this. Your deck is what it is.
Yeah,
you just show up, do your thing, and hope it's good.
And the snow stuff is so good for these decks that you're sacrificing a lot to try to do counter spell stuff. And counters aren't even that great in this.
Yeah, they can't really. They can't splash a color. Snow is basically an extra color. It's like colorless for Eldrazi. It's like adding another color to your mana base. So you're already effectively a 2-color deck. You're really a 1-color deck with a splash, right?
Yeah.
They're splashing Snow to play Faceless Haven and in green to play Blizzard Brawl. So yeah, there really is not. That's the problem. The decks that exist to beat the Epiphany decks or the combo control decks don't have the same versatility that the combo control decks have, which means that once the combo control decks figure out your tricks, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
and you end up in this equilibrium solved metagame.
I've been a huge advocate to not banning too early.
Same.
Because I'm very exhausted with bans. But the reality is we've been through so much of this in the last few years, and combo control just ruins formats. It just does. And they cannot breathe until you get rid of them. They are just a plague on a format. Splinter Twin did it. We had the Tainted Pack decks do it. In Historic, we've had
Inverter and Pioneer.
We've had Teamer Reclamation even in Standard in recent years. They break the rules of Magic, and they exist, and we have to, but competitively, the other decks just can't fight fair.
Yeah, you're just not allowed to, because either way you fight fair, they have a built-in counter to it.
Yeah.
If you try to play slow, they'll combo you. If you try to play fast, they'll control you.
No, I just mean that was the wrong term. Decks can't compete.
Yeah.
You literally just have to be anti-decks of them. And that's the only things that can compete with them.
Yeah, it's a problem. And I think we're going to see it this week because
it's beautiful.
They figured it out.
It's a work of art. It really is. It does. It's. Did you say busted?
Yeah.
Or did you say bussin'?
Busted.
I think it's also bussin'.
You know what it feels like to me? Do you remember at the end of the Callblade era when they finally figured out how to mash Twin and Callblade together? And they were doing it there were very few people playing at this point because nobody it
was a small sliver.
It was the last week of PTQs, and I went just.
Was there a league weekend on that weekend?
I'm not sure. I assumed you were talking about something else, but
I was talking about our because they were always at the end. And no one cared. Okay, come on, it's a good joke.
I remember the last week of that PTQ season, and I went just to hang out because I was already queued, and it was like a 57-person PTQ.
Yeah,
and I was just walking around seeing what people were playing, and most people were just playing Callblade. There were some people trying to play super linear decks to beat Callblade. I remember there was this green-white Infect deck that people were playing that would just try to cheese you on turn 3. And then I saw a couple of people playing, Twin Blade, and their deck made sense. I did see other people had tried it before, and they just didn't get the pieces to work right. And they even had an Inferno Titan at the top end of their curve that was messing people up. I think they were tutoring for some equipment that might have given it Death Touch, maybe Basilisk Collar was still around. So they just had a collar in their deck to go with that, and all the pieces worked. And I was like, oh, they figured it out. Yep. you know that it's there somewhere, and just somebody needs to put in the work and figure it out. And that's what I get when I look at this deck. They're just like, yeah, they figured it out.
Yeah, they put a lot of work in a short period of time. I'm very impressed with them. I wonder how many people helped them design this. I can't wait to hear the story, and I can't wait to watch. And coverage of Worlds starts tomorrow morning. I don't exactly remember the time. I'm guessing like noonish Eastern.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the time, but you'll find out at twitch.tv/magic, where there'll be 3 days of the tournament. There'll be a draft plus the 3 rounds, and then 2 rounds of standard tomorrow. And on Saturday, 5 more rounds of standard, cutting to the top 4. And the top 4, I don't know if there's just a regular top 4. I have no clue. Hopefully they play a lot of matches.
Brad, with a brother working on coverage, you think you might know like when it starts.
He did, and I'm regurgitating everything he did tell me. There's probably more information.
Although if you told me Corey didn't know when it started,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Corey didn't know.
See, I would. I thought that would be the status, but Corey takes these coverage weeks seriously.
Yeah.
So I think he is going to bring a lot of great energy and top-notch stuff to it. Yeah,
I'm sure he'll do great. I'm just saying that he may not realize it. He just may not be there till 5 minutes before. That's all.
Oh, he'll be there. He just won't know what time he has to be there until the night before when he needs to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has that out of his head the entire week because he's focusing on other stuff, the metagame and learning his role and things like that. So
yeah. I actually asked him, and he gave me all that information, but I didn't ask him when it started.
Yeah.
Or what the top 4 is.
Well, we still have a little bit of time here, so if we've got some questions in the queue, Rob, we can answer those.
What time is it?
10 of.
I did have one earlier about the mono green deck. And do you think that maybe the deck should be playing like all 8 creature lands, or is playing the layers way too much?
I like playing layers. I don't want to play all 8. I like 2 or 3 layers.
I'm a big fan of 2 and 2. I think there's a lot of people that are playing the 4 Faithless Havens, but I think 2 is an appropriate number. But also, I might just be wrong about the whole deck because I like Lotus Cobra in the deck, and no one else seems to.
Over Sculptor?
Yes.
I assume that the difference there is that everybody just hates getting their Cobras spike fielded.
But I've been thinking that spike field numbers are going to drop with the less, and they are, and I'm fine with that. Like the thing is just Cobra
being able to attack and make mana is really
also
valuable.
You're not forced to play it on turn 2. If your hand has a chariot and you're always going to play the Sculptor or the Lotus Cobra and get to the chariot.
Yeah.
But if your hand has 3/2 drops, you have to play it and
pack leader into turn 3 Lotus Cobra Ranger class.
Yes, exactly.
Like that.
And those are things that I've really liked out of it. But there is some other arguments that people say, and I don't really understand. But during that argument, my personal life is very hectic at the moment, so I wasn't paying attention too much to these arguments. I want to go research it, and I will, to have a better argument, but my gut was that Lotus Cobra. Yeah. And Seth has Lotus Cobra in the deck because both of us were fans of the card.
Yeah. When I first started seeing Sculptor of Winter in decks, I was a little confused. I just thought, isn't Cobra just better? So I sat down and thought, I figured it was just Spikefield Hazard. That was the big driver towards just getting a 2 toughness mana creature, because I think in a vacuum, Cobra is just a better card.
It does give you a snow permanent, so you can do like more fight things with it. But
I guess it's better if you're land light too, but I would rather just err on the high side of lands anyway and play more layers and things and have more mana sinks. Like when I'm playing with mono green, the games where I have a creature land back are always so different because I'm just way less scared of their sweepers all the time. Yep. I have that closing power so much more often. It's just like a built-in haste creature that sits there on the battlefield. So I want to play the maximum number I can without affecting my ability to curve out and my ability to activate Haven, because I think Haven is busted and I would definitely want to play 4, but I think you can play at least 2 layers. I don't think you want 4 because they're not great in multiples.
It gets tough because I just think 4 Haven is a lot, but maybe you're just supposed to play 4.
It's really good.
Well, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I agree that it is better than layer in the early turns, in the early attacks.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, but it's also not a green source, and there's a lot of times when you want
Old Growth Troll on 3
or just having you're just going to have to throw back Forest Haven if you have Old Growth and Wolf, right? Like there's just hands you have to toss back because of the stuff. It's not often, but there's a small percentage. There's not a ton of games where you have to be, that you're attacking with these lands either.
Yeah, and it's like the old mono blue mana base, right? They had Nightfell Specters and all the blue 2-drops, but still needed to play Mutavault. Mutavault was so busted that you definitely played 4. Why people kept playing a Nykthos, including me, everybody just played a Nykthos in mono blue, and just looking back on it, it's just so bad. Like, why in the world did we just play another island?
Oh, look, I love looking back at old deck building theory. Like, we all were, just some of the stuff that we did as a collective is hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially with sideboard building.
So much of it, I think, comes down to just inertia. One person did it at the beginning and did well with it, and everybody just copied them and did well enough with the deck that they didn't really think to change it. And if you change it, everyone sees the change, and they're like, oh, well, then you have to justify it. You always have to be sure when you're making the change. You never have to be sure, like, once you just put up a random result early in the season. So it takes a lot to make, like, for the community to come together and change those things, because there's a lot of just innate energy that goes against any change.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I think that definitely could be it. It's also just like at the high end of competitive Magic, like the tournament weekends have been all in shifts as well, like when big tournaments happen and what have you.
Yeah, it's just sort of the rhythm of how we go through the tournament season.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also a lot of theory and card changes. Like the way cards are designed is different now too. So there's a lot more snowballing happening in Magic when there wasn't back then.
Yeah,
like Thos, like that deck had snowbally stuff, but not to the degree that's happening in Standard now.
No, and certainly not to the card in the card advantage way. Like I would say the snowbally card was like Underworld Connections, right? Just that.
I thought you had that green or the blue 4-drop that whenever you dealt damage, you drew cards.
Yeah, Biden. I actually ended up towards the end of the season. I was really low on Biden.
Yeah,
I was playing 1, and I was boarding it out on the draw against mono black. Mm-hmm. Whereas some people would like board as many as they had in. I had a second in the board for control.
Yeah.
Because you wanted a second in that matchup. But yeah, they were.
But yeah, so I mean, there's just a lot of factors. I think a lot of things have consistently changed in Magic. We're also getting older and better at this game.
Yeah,
and
but
so
and collectively too. Like
that's what I mean, collectively. Yeah, and so there's a lot of pitfalls that we don't run into all the time.
I almost want to go back and look, like, you know, when you think about the history of, you know, competitive chess, and that. And at a large scale, it really starts in the 19th century. So, like, what was the collective knowledge of the game of chess in, like, 1880, when they had been playing for 30 years in a really organized way, and people were writing books about these things? Like, the problem, like, you know, obviously way behind where they are now, and they've still continued to make strides over, you know, 150 years since then. But I'm sure there's still so much that we have left to unlock, and we're just only getting better. So, you know, even within the span of 10 or 15 years,
are we losing to robots yet?
And so, not at Magic. We've lost.
No. I mean in chess.
We lost to computers in '97.
No. I know that, but now like we're dominated. Like, for example, what I'm saying is now with it, like AI, like we can't beat a League of Legends robot. Like the best League of Legends players get eviscerated by.
There are AIs that play those games.
Yes, and they were given 2 rules.
Yeah,
and they just sat there and taught the game to itself. It was doing things that now at least if correct, I might be wrong, everyone, and I know we're off on a weird tangent, but it was doing weird things in the games that no one's ever done before. That is just correct if you can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know that was the thing with Go when they had
the AlphaGo. I remember watching some of these matches, and there's one 9-Dan player, which is the highest level in Go, who is American and lives in Japan now, but they had him doing the American broadcast online. So they would just have a board next to him, and he'd be following all the moves and explaining what was going on. And at one point, AlphaGo, the computer, just makes a move all way out of the way of anything. Like all the action is in like the upper right part of the board, and he like moves lower left somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And the guy doing commentary thinks like, oh, that must be a mistake. Like somebody must have relayed the wrong information, like gotten something wrong. He didn't even put the like chip on the board. He was like, that has to be wrong. No, like it doesn't make any sense. I have no idea what they're doing. And a few minutes later, they're like, no, that's right. And he's like, okay, I guess, like it's there. Yeah. And then 15 turns later, this fight just migrates across the board diagonally. And that one chip ended up just being a huge ambush. And it completely blew up the other person's position. And the guy just was dumbfounded. He's like, this is going to change the way we play Go. like nobody's ever done this before, and it's incredible.
That is, yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, I watched a long video about the League of Legends. I don't even play the game, but I was like,
Also, Chad's
blown
telling me
away.
it's on Dota, not League. But
Okay, it could have been Dota.
Similar games.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
Dota, the thing now that they said it, one of the things, if I remember correctly, you know how you have the little minions that crawl up the maps?
Sure.
Do you have any idea?
Not really, but
Okay, then I'm not even going to explain this. I'll just talk about this on my chat if someone brings it up, because Ross doesn't even get it. I guess some of you would, but you are a champion.
yeah.
And you have minions that get spawned and just die to these turrets, but you can collect gold or money if you get the last kill on them.
Yeah, and you use that to upgrade your stuff throughout the game.
But the robot was trying to hold them back and did this really cool movement to get in front of them, to block them, to slow them down at the beginning of the game. So then the fights are at their turret and he's picking them off more easily and defending from his turret. So all the actions happening were his turret and the other opponent.
He's choosing the terrain.
Yeah, he's choosing the terrain they were choosing the terrain by like doing this weird walk thing to stop the front minions. And now I think it's being used, but maybe not. But it was in that video they were talking about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
It's like
one of the best players played one game, and it was supposed to be a best of 5. And they're like, we don't have to keep playing. It's doing things I've never even imagined were possible. Yeah,
people are really good things, and robots are better.
Yes. But yeah, is there any more questions, comments, concerns, burns?
It's about it for right now.
That's
Okay,
it.
well, let's thank some subs, thank some sponsors, and then we will head out.
I need my
Oh, I should get the marbles, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, they're not there anymore.
Rob, did you take the marbles?
Nah, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
just get to the sponsors.
we're gonna have to find the marbles and get them to you later.
Yep. I'll hear. Yep.
But don't worry,
Are you getting rapid van lines to deliver them too?
Yeah, they are actually that.
Perfect.
They're our new
All right,
they're our
I'll
new
see them in
sponsor.
3 months.
They're actually our new sponsor starting today.
No.
You didn't get that memo. You have to do the pitch for them.
I mean, I'll find new work. It's fun while it's lasting.
Yeah.
We had one sub today. Exarca subscribed for 26 months. Thank you to them.
26 months is a long time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that support. And if you would like to support Star City Games in another way, you can join SCG Premium. $7.99 a month will get you access to exclusive content from our wonderful staff of content creators, as well as 5% off of sealed product, 10% off of singles, and 15% off of supplies. So head on over to starcitygames.com/join-premium and sign up today. Next thing is
No,
gonna be
I'm not helping.
I got to do all 5.
I can do one.
Which one?
Coalesque.
Yeah, you want to do Colas Apparel?
Yeah, Coalesque Apparel is this awesome sponsor that does shirts. And if you use the code FFFreak,
You can also use the gift code SCG to get 10% off of your purchase there. That's going to be at coalesceapparel.shop. And they not only have t-shirts, they have hoodies and stickers in their collection.
I got to get some hoodies because I'm blown away by the actual quality of the shirts.
I really want the
surprised.
NBA Jam shirts.
And they fit. Who have got them?
Yeah, I think they're on their way. I think we're going to have NBA Jam shirts on Versus Live soon.
Oh, I already have them.
Yeah, it took Cedric a while to get them over to me.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm disappointed by that because as soon as I saw them, I wanted them. I also am disappointed that Cedric nixed my idea of Wirewood Symbiote Elvish Visionary on an NBA Jam shirt.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people.
But there's one. Just make one and send it to me.
True. But then you're just going to get the annoying, like, only 3 people are like, I want one of those too.
Yeah, I guess. But it would have been cool.
It would have been cool.
Next up is going to be the SCG Tour online. I assume with Worlds going that we're not on this week, but I'm not sure.
No, we are.
Actually, we are.
know.
Wow. This is your show.
I already did this pitch on Tuesday. We're definitely on this week.
I know.
I asked this question. So how that's going to work, if you don't know already, there are satellite events that run on Friday and Saturday. There's 4 per day, spaced out throughout the day. So based on where you are, you can find one that works. Those are going to be 6-round events. This week is standard. And if you go 4 and 2 or better, you'll qualify for the championship qualifier on Sunday. For each win beyond the 4th, so if you go 5-1 or 6-0, you'll get a bye for that Sunday event, 1 or 2 buys. And then that Sunday event is going to be for cash, for gems, and for qualifications into the Invitational at SCGCon.
Yeah, you can even get a third buy by playing in additional ones to get more points. But the biggest thing is if you don't have premium and are on the fence of getting premium, You also get free entries into specific satellites, one on Friday and one on Saturday, 2 different regions of time zones. So it's good for people across the pond. But yeah, you will get free entries into those, and the entry costs about what premium does. So if you're interested in playing in that or getting SCG premium, they synergize.
Yeah. So that's the SCG Tour Online. This week is Standard. We'd love to see y'all qualifying for that invitational here in Roanoke at the end of the month.
No, I want a small turnout, like as small as possible. And I want to win the damn thing. Like,
I would like
no, I do not want any of you to qualify. I wouldn't mind seeing you. You can play side events. Cool. Like, just don't be in my invitational.
Do you remember back in the day when the invitationals were super small? The first one I played, I think, was 150 people.
Oh, yeah. I
went 10-5-1. I finished 16th.
Yep. Oh, I have no idea how many people are going to show up to this. I don't think they do.
No, it's going to...
It could be any number, right? It could be small, it could be giant. Like,
Yep. Next order of business is going to be buying cards, because Star City Games is always buying, and the process has never been easier because there are so many ways to do it. You can use the buy list feature on the website. You can mail your cards in and let SCG do the work for you vis-a-vis grading and sorting. You can make an appointment and come into the store to do your business in person. And if your collection is big enough, you can make that appointment and have SCG come to you. So pick whichever option works best for your situation. And always keep in mind that when trading in for store credit, you will get a 30% bonus on that trade-in. Last order of business is going to be the weekly sale. This week's sale is 50%. 50, that's 50, off of select items. If you want to know what items those are, you can find that at starcitygames.com/sale. Figure out which things are deeply discounted, and if you want to pick those up, that sale is going to end Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. That's a small change from how these weekly sales have worked in the past. They used to end at 10:59 a.m. on Monday, so you got 11 fewer hours to get those orders in and take advantage of that. So please do. And once again, that URL is starcitygames.com/sale.
Yeah, you're bearing the lead on that one. You're like 50. That's a big number. Off select items. And I'm like,
50% off.
I need some modern card stat for this invitational.
50% off of all cards Brad owns.
Yeah.
And we'll send them to you.
I have none because of our sponsor, Rapid Valley.
Okay. That's going to be it for today's show.
Yeah.
It's been lovely having you here,
Thank
Brad.
you. I enjoy it.
Sorry the marbles just went missing. I don't know where they went.
I don't know. The lights went out. And
they were there at the beginning of the show, right?
I thought I lost my marbles because I didn't know you lost yours.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I was here to remind you of that fact.
Yep.
That's going to be it for today. Next week, we'll be back at our same time here Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Corey will be back with me for that. We'll see how his experience doing coverage in Worlds, and we'll see just how well this Grixis Epiphany deck does. But, both Brad and I are giving that 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, the deck's great.
So thanks for joining us today, and we will see you Tuesday at 1 p.m. Have a good one.